Easter. We're ready. We're going to spin the style wheel. We're going to see weather for all of today, which is going to be a long stream. We are playing as the Warrior. Any Warriors in the chat? Anyone want this one to win? I just realized that I'm wearing these helmets and my headphones is possibly not going to work very well. Didn't think this one through. The top of the Warrior's helmet just fell off. This is probably a bad omen for the Warrior. Pretty disappointed with the quality of the Warrior helmet, I have to say. This just doesn't stay in place very well. The Warrior helmet is at least it has one thing going for it, which is that it doesn't smell like toxic chemicals that will kill me. Cannot say the same thing about the polar bear mask, which I'm very disappointed with. Yeah, no, that's like breathing in lead paint. That's not going to happen. If we end up getting the polar bear, we're probably going to have to do this kind of deal. And even then, I can still smell the toxic fumes. Like, it looks pretty bad, that's right. It looks really real. If I wore this and then like walked into the room where my 16-month-old son was playing, I think he would freak the hell out and run for his life. You'd say the same about all of these masks. So if it's polar bear, polar style, big bet sun flop, lots of checking, lots of plain delayed C-bet nodes. You guys know the drill with polar bear. We're probably going to just wear it as a helmet, a mask helmet. One that I probably can wear is the rodent or the weasel. I may again just wear it like as a visor. The blue line style, looking to avoid rake, stay out of bad spots, small ball, 2007 Negreanu-esque stuff. Paying less rake, did I say that already? Crucially, not playing high variance, uncomfortable, unstudied spots. Blue lining. Any weasels in the house? Let me know. What else do we have here? Well, we have the Menace, and I couldn't find a good Dennis the Menace mask on Amazon, so I went for Evil Clown. Oh, it still has its label on it. Actually quite happy with this one. This one turned out quite nicely. I say that as if I made it. I didn't make it. But yeah, this one is pretty scary, pretty horrific. Menacing strategy, loads of bets. I might just wear this on my hand like this. Yeah, better take the label off without ripping out all the hair. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, guys, so if you're all sitting comfortably, we're going to spin the style wheel. We're going to be here all day today until, I hope, about 2 p.m. because at 2:30, it's going to be time for Cat and Carrot. We're going to come off the air, end this show, stop the delay, review some Hands with Sam, chill, kick back, unwind after a hard day's play. It is Easter at Carrot Corner, I should mention briefly, which means we have 2 offers for you. The first one is called... Let me actually bring this up. The first one is called the Hero offer on the Silver Carrot. So Silver Carrot's 20% off, and the Golden Carrot is 10% off, but with the Golden Carrot, that's our flagship offer. You can actually get a personalized database review video made for you from resident database expert James Shea, and professional poker player, member of our community, one of the coaches in the Silver Carrot library. And he will take all of your stats that you send him. Instructions on how to contact him will go out to you by email when you get the Golden Carrot this Easter up until Monday. And he will go through your database. He will spend a bunch of time compiling some notes. He will record a video showing you what you need to work on based on your stats. So you're going to get a personalized database review with the Golden Carrot only, this Easter only, plus 10% off our complete system, the Golden Carrot. If you're starting with Silver Carrot, the Hero offer is 20% off that. Head over to carrotcorner.com. Check out those offers. Have a look. We're going to get into some Wizard in just a second, because whatever style we pick today, I'm going to show you some of the keynotes for that style before we sit down at the tables. Thank you for the sub, Harry84. Appreciate it. on Twitch, and we're going to get into it. My face is glowing green because the wall behind me is green, and the lighting is pretty bad in this new office. I've not sorted it out yet, so I'm not actually like really ill. In fact, I just went for a run, and it was one of those days where running just all comes together, where like you can do everything you can normally do, but like effortlessly at a really low heart rate. It was just excellent. I don't know. Some days you just get like that with running, then other days you're just like dying for no reason. That seems to be usually how it goes. Anyway, I will show you briefly what our homepage looks like. That's our Easter Bunny. He's not your typical Easter Bunny. He's a carrot corner Easter Bunny. He's got poker chips in his basket. He's got the Jack Nine of clubs. He's got an orange bandana and belt and badass leather jacket. That's the kind of Easter Bunny we approve of at carrotcorner.com. None of this like prancing around with like a basket full of eggs, just being nice to everyone. You've got to be mean in poker if you want to make it, right? At least you would think so by looking at the comment section. Not you guys that follow the stream live, not you guys. So hero offer, there you go. 319 for the silver carrot. The silver carrot, by the way, gets you CPS grade 1, cash injection, true EV, all courses. CPS grade 1 is like many hours. Each episode is over an hour, or at least the first few are. They're all around an hour. There's an exam, and you should do the exam, then watch the feedback video, which is also around an hour. True EV, what button to press at the right time? Cash injection, boost your win rate very quickly by learning the 10 most important exploits. Silver Pro Library, 47 videos from pros. Ranges through the stakes. Pre-flop ranges for your reference. Don't stick to them religiously, you know, try and deviate based on game conditions. And this is a total value. If you bought everything individual over 600, it's usually discounted to 499 when you get it in that bundle. And just now it's 319, which is just ridiculously insane values. So silver carrot pass and then the golden carrot pass, our flagship offer, is to get 10% off this bad boy. This is our complete system. It's absolutely everything we've ever done. Full carrot poker school, mass data grade E, 1, 2, and 3. Weapons of War, everything in silver. Gold, library access, which we're expanding, by the way. We're adding a new coach to that next month, I think, or the month after, but probably next month. And that content will continue to grow. What you see on site right now is not all you'll get with Gold Carrot, but you get that database review with James Shea. You get James to look into your database, tell you exactly what to fix, make you your own personalized video the same length as one of our YouTube videos. That is all there for you this Easter at Carrot Corner. There's everything you get in the Golden Carrot. I won't bore you anymore with this. I just wanted to let you know, and I think it's about time, ladies and gentlemen, that we find out which style we're going to be playing on day 1 of the Easter stream. Welcome to Cydrus, to Woody Shroomer. Welcome on Twitch to Har84. Welcome to Demadork. It's time to spin the wheel, guys. Get your votes in. What do you want this to be? Get your votes in now. See if you can manifest the reality of this wheel. Is it going to be Polar Bear? Is it going to be Menace? Is it going to be Warrior? Or is it going to be Weasel? The time has come to find out which style I'll be playing all day today for you on stream. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, Warrior has won. I'm not gonna lie, I was hoping this style wouldn't win for the first stream, because this style is pretty difficult to play. It involves a hell of a lot of swings and aggression, and playing a hell of a lot of big pots. This is not a style we can ease into gradually. And it's also not great that this part just doesn't seem to stay on, unless I'm doing something wrong. Let me see if I can fix the Spartan-esque adornment to the helmet before we jump in here, because if not, you guys can already imagine the tilt when the big warrior bluff doesn't work and that falls off onto my lap embarrassingly in the middle of the stream. We can already see how that's going to go. Is it on backwards, maybe? Maybe it needs to go this way. I'm very bad at these things, guys. I'm very bad at DIY, as my wife would tell you. I think no, it's just shit. It's just shit. I was going to say I think I fixed it, but unfortunately it's just shit. I really like my music, but because the Warriors won, we're probably gonna have to do without it. God, can I? No, I can't. It's not even comfortable, man. Yeah, I just can't, guys. I just can't, guys. Was an East impression. I just can't. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, this is shit. This is what happens when you buy your costumes on Amazon, guys, with a couple of clicks and you don't really look into it too much. I mean, it had decent reviews. It did have decent reviews. So, okay, we're playing the warrior style. So what does that mean? It means... No, it's just not gonna stay on, is it? Oh, that was a click. That was a click, guys. I think we've nailed it. Yes, we have nailed it. We have nailed it, guys. Is there a way I can sort of wear this helmet and also listen to music? No. I think the headphones need to go on first. Didn't you do Warrior last time? No. Last time I played, I was recording a video that's coming out later today, and I was actually the Weasel. And last time that Shu played on stream, she was the Polar Bear, but the time before that, she was the Warrior. I've not done Warrior for you guys. In fact, it's the only one I've not done yet, so... This is... No, this just isn't going to work, is it, with the headphones? Maybe if I just stay very still, it won't fall off. Does that just look really weird? That looks really stupid, right? But at least I can no, I can't see if I do that. So maybe we'll just have to be the warrior in spirit, guys. In spirit. Or we just do without the music. That's the other option. We just do without the music. Okay, this is pretty uncomfortable. I'm not sure how long I will last in this helmet, but for the sake of the stream, for Easter, we'll give it a go. How does my voice sound, by the way, in the warrior helmet? Is it pretty bad? Woody Schumer says I wanted Menace just for the mask. I think that would have been horrendous. Like, imagine sitting there in that mask for the whole stream. But the good news is that we're back tomorrow doing this again with a different style. And we're back on Monday, Easter Monday, the last day of the sale, doing this again. The last day of the Carrot Corner sale. Hop into our Easter sale. You get it? AI came up with hop in. And I said, let's go with that. So if we're playing the warrior, what we're going to be doing is a lot of stuff that involves betting on the flop. Solutions library here. Let's bring up a saved sim. Sorry guys, 1 second while I get the right sim here. GTO Wizard does not do well in this minimized view. I get it though, because I run a website and trying to make things right for all these different screens is irritating for sure. So let's say that we are, well, we'll start at the most common classic spot, right? The warrior, the 3-bet pot. We're going to be doing a lot of 3-betting, favoring 3-betting to calling when we're in the blinds, playing a lot of 3-bet pots today. That is going to be the idea. The hell is this sim? This is not the right sim. Sorry guys, bear with me 1 second while I go to the right sim. Russian cash. Okay, this sim. Some live 200 big blinds thing that was working with this student on up there. So let's say that button opens and small blind raises. I like this 8.5, this like smaller 3-bet. This is cool. I think this is, so you could build like a very wide 3-bet range around that, play a lot of 3-bet pots. Happy to 3-bet pretty mergy linear, bit more polar at the big blind, but still pretty mergy linear. So let's say we get a flop, right? And let's say it's a queen high flop or something where we're going to be playing a smaller bet strategy. I'm going to start with a lot of small bets on the flop. And what I think I'm actually going to do is play the very small bet on the flop as the warrior, or the quite small bet on the flop. So if we change Let's AI solve this. Do I look intimidating? Wear the headphones upside down, like under your chin. That's not a bad idea, actually. Do you think that's going to work? I mean, I look even more ridiculous. I actually don't know if I can keep this thing on for the whole stream. I actually don't know. But let's say, oh, this looks so bad minimized. I can't even alter the bet sizes. So let's say we were going for B25 on flop here as the warrior, the kind of thing I'm going to be doing today. After we bet small on flop, 3-bet pot, button calls. We get some turn card. Let's go relatively bricky. Is I'm going to be playing either blocks on turn or big pot size bets like this. So here you can see our big pot size bet, king 10, king jack, the overcard's the second pair, the blocker's the top pair, the ace x, the overcard to the queen. This is our bluffing range in this spot. There's a minimum standard, giving up this stuff down here with the pot size bet. If the turn, however, is, let's say, an ace, what do you mean there's no solution for this spot? Something went wrong with this as an AI solution. What are you talking about? Okay, and the point is on the ace, we're going to be going for the small bet in these nodes. Can I refresh and get you to work? Yes. Okay. So let's try that again. Small flop bet, call, ace turn. And there you go. There's a small bet that the solver's recommending. And we can use this here. So in 3-bet pots, we're going to be going small on a lot of flops. A bit bigger, more like a B40, I think, on the low boards, and a B25 on the higher boards. And then using giant turn sizes or very small turn sizes and just keeping up relentless aggression. Shoving rivers when we think it's all right, when we think it's a good spot. Check raising, huge, on flop, going for that strategy. Or check raising small and potting turn. We're going to be hitting people with a lot of lines that are just uncomfortable to face. We're going to be fighting them, battling them, taking them into 3-bet pots, 4-bet pots, being aggressive. Today. That's our goal. It means erring on the side of aggression rather than passivity. I do not have an RNG set up on this laptop. My computer's still out of order. I've not even set the RNG up that I normally use, and I'm not even going to bother with an RNG today, guys. I'm just going to mix like a human. Sounds scary but normal. Okay. Yep. It does sound a bit deeper and more echoey than usual, perhaps. Alright, guys. So, in single raise pots, what we're going to do is again start with the small c-bet on flop and look to do a lot of bullying. As Clanty would say, I've done a lot of bullying in my lifetime. I've done a lot of bullying in my lifetime. Remember that time Pete did Clanty impressions in a gladiatorial helmet? Yeah, I was there. I was there. It takes me back to like when you're a kid and you go out trick-or-treating for Halloween and it's really uncomfortable all night, but you know, you've got to wear the costume and then you're kind of just relieved when the whole thing's over for another year and you don't have to like feel so uncomfortable. I have to do this for hours. Longer than trick-or-treating. Maybe I'll even do it in Cat versus Carrot or Cat and Carrot. Cat and Carrot. Yes, it's going to fall off. Right, so if I bring up now, oh, it kicked me off of my tables, so I need to join a couple of tables, guys. 1 second, let's try and set the stream up. Get 2 tables going here and try and compete as the warrior in just a second here. I'm going to sit out just so I can configure everything again. And I'll be here till about 2 o'clock doing this, and GG will not let me tile the tables, so this is a good start. And it's turned my sound back on. Wow, GG is glitching out, man. They've updated their app and all of the settings changes I just made have not been saved. It will not let me tile my tables. I'm going to have to restart the client, guys. And now it plays like horrendous music when you log in as well. It plays awful music when you log into the client. So bear with me while I set everything up again. I did have this set up. My apologies. Actually, Kara Carnoculos, you're incorrect. Without a long-term BB per 100, your strategy is just a guess. Actually, it's not, because I have had a long-term BB per 100. I actually do have one. It's just not over a massive sample that I want to brag about right now, because it would be subject to that's not a big sample, because I don't have a lot of time to play, but it is shaping up quite nicely. Players don't care what you know, they care what you win. Proof is everything. I think proofism is something, and unfortunately I can't do both, because running this company it's a lot of my time. It's all of my time, actually. It's a professional job, and building really good content that's academic, rigorous, structured is a full-time job. And coaching has taken up a lot of my time. I'm doing less of that now. So you do have a point that some people do care about results, and results would always help. And if I were able to clone myself and play the same amount of hours as I have to work on Carrot Corner, I would do that, but I can't. And Carrot Corner is a very successful business, and people buy stuff and have bought stuff for years, and I've done well out of it. So you're not correct that proof is everything, but you do have a point. And hopefully that explanation assures you why I don't do that. If you want to figure out how to clone me and make a second version of me, we can make that guy play. Because I actually prefer the business stuff. I prefer running the company, talking to you guys, doing shows like this, putting on helmets. I like putting on the helmets. People love the helmets, actually. So just because, another fallacy is that just because you don't like something doesn't mean that other people don't like it. People have actually really liked the different styles thing. I think it's been a bit refreshing for a lot of people recently. It's funny when people post their opinion as if it's the opinion of everyone. It's the echo chambers thing on the internet, right? You find another few people that think like you, and now it's suddenly just everyone and it's universally accepted. All right, let's try this again, guys. Let's try and set this up again. No, it's proper bugged. This is so annoying. Why is the poker world like this? I swear to God, in like most other places, if you like go into settings and change the settings of things, they're changed the next time you log in, right? Guys, just bear with me while I set this up again. I have to go into settings and change the sound because it's turned it back on for some reason. Not sure why. And I will not take the helmet off while I do this. I refuse. Okay. What happens if we go over here? We have two tables. They are not currently sized correctly. That's okay, we can fix that. See how tilted GG Poker can make me before I actually start streaming today. I'm glad I'm not affiliated, by the way. I'd have to be like, oh, look, everything's fine. No, it's not fine. I changed this already. Does anyone else have the feeling that no organizations are competent anymore when it comes to things? Like, is it just me? Am I a boomer? Am I a bitter old man? Or does anyone else have that feeling that when you want to get something done and you rely on someone else or some other organization to do it, it just doesn't happen ever? Is that just me, or is that the modern world, guys? Let me know what you think. Okay. Right, the chats are up. Let's resize these. Sorry for the slow start here. I just want to make sure everything is right so that when we get started, we can just play for ages. All right. So we have table 1 and table 2. Or do we have table 1 twice? I think we have table 1 twice. So let's change that. Table 2, table 1. Okay. Playing as the warrior. The warrior helmet is on. The only thing I need to do now is disable the sound again. The sound is horrendous, guys. Oh, apparently it's off. We may have an issue here because it's going to play sound even though the sound is off. Huh. Alright, at least I don't have my headphones on. Maybe I won't really hear it. I can just turn my computer sound off. Let's go, guys. Let's see what this looks like. I can't hear the sound anymore. Good. Are my hotkeys going to work? Yes. My fold button works. That's the main thing. Not that we're going to do loads of folding as the warrior. Let's play as the warrior. I'm going to open King 6 off in the button as any player type. I'd recommend you guys to. Money's going to flow more towards you. I'm going to have a very high c-bet frequency today. One of the things the warrior does is capitalizes on the fact that people don't raise the flop enough. And also don't protect their calling range, especially on boards like that where they're meant to call a lot of good combos. So we are going to be blasting turns, rivers, wherever we think the fold equity is decent. And starting off with quite a small flop c-bet, following it up with big turn bets that will be overbet sometimes. If I was the menace, the 3-bet strategy on this flop is kind of funny, because their hand does benefit quite a bit from protection here, and I don't think people really merge enough here. They're kind of saying they have a 10 or nothing, and as the warrior, I'm going to do this as well. When villain quickly calls, I think they have a 10 always. There is basically no other hand that they have, and we're now going to try and bink a 5, but what we're getting from that flop raise is a bit of denial, and if people are over bluffing that spot, that works really, really well. It's a small flop 3-bet as well. This is a bit curious now. I still think this is generally a 10. It could be a hand like 9s or something now as well at some frequency, but I think it still has too much 10 in it for me to want to bet river. Yeah, flop timing just, I mean, it will be a 10 anyway when they go for that line. But the reason the small flop c-bets, the small flop 3-bet's going to work well there is that once you start bluffing that board, you're likely to bluff it at a reasonable frequency. Then again, it is GG 100 and it's a paired board. But yeah, 5s looks like the kind of hand that it could even get like a hand like 8s to just fold immediately on flop there, by the way, to the 3-bet. So it's kind of like a hybrid. It's like you're getting denial and you're folding out some better. And you're giving yourself not a terrible price on that. With ace 9, I'm just going to be checking. But I'm going to take a quite an aggressive exploitative probe strategy today. So you're going to see me against the more recreational players probing turns with a lot of hands I shouldn't. This is an exploitative strategy we're using today, but it does have a theoretical bedrock. The health service is awful. I've been waiting for an allergy test for 5 years. Yeah, I mean, all the nationalized stuff's pretty awful. But also, okay, how do I stop it going tick, 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 tick? That's the sound that's still on. Apparently turning sound off doesn't turn off the horrible ticking when it's your turn to act. Sound is fully off. Yeah, that doesn't cover that, guys. That doesn't cover that. Maybe it's under timer. You think it's under timer, guys? It's probably under timer, right? So people c-bet too much on this board. So if I check, I face a c-bet too often, which means that my hand is lower EV than it is in theory, because in theory that board goes check, check at some frequency. So leading for a third there, generally population's going to underraise. They're going to call and then overfold turn. They're going to overraise their overpairs. For the most part, not the nits, but for the most part. So starting with a lead with some backdoors there on a board that's kind of leadable. I think this is an okay strat. Definitely opening 5 deuce on the button here. All of these spots that are break even for you in theory that involve position and initiative are winning for you in practice. And there's a simple reason for that. And it is that the out of position player has a much taller order in terms of accuracy than the in position player. The in position player actually wins the meta simply by betting the flop small with a lot of different combos. The out of position player loses the meta by not knowing how to raise, like we talked about in episode 1, cash injection, not knowing how to handle c-bets, not knowing the theory of that sort of thing. Time bank card. I actually don't know how to turn off the ticking sound. Is this a glitch? Let me know, guys, if this is just a glitch. I'm going to go ahead and 3-bet to 12 big blinds out of the big blind. I'm going to go like hyper aggressive polar out of the big blind as the warrior. I'm going to lean towards 3-betting a lot. And we are going to start with a very efficient small c-bet here. The idea being that all of the underpair region, like 7s, 6s, 5s, ace 5, not ace 5, sorry, but all of the underpair region is just going to be folding. Turn, I think we just have a pure barrel. And in terms of sizing, I'm going to go something like this here. This is probably optimal. The Queen River doesn't suck that much because I think villain has a lot of ace, king, ace, jack, ace 10 here. They will have ace, queen that will never fold. They'll have some king, jack. I'm going to follow through. I think this is going to get called quite a lot, but it doesn't need that much fold equity. It's definitely not going to work. Okay, king, queen of spades does make sense, but I think getting like things like ace 10, ace, jack, ace, king to fold there is going to be possible. We have so few bluffs on that node as well. It's so hard for us to be bluffing. And so going for the triple there seems good. Get check raised on this board. Villain's value range is like maybe king, queen, ace, king, 5s, possibly deuces, possibly not. I'm not going to be 3-betting this spot. There's just not as much utility in it. This is a recreational player, so I am going to 3-bet. When they check turn here, this is quite interesting. I expect to get double check raised. Almost never. And a really nice line here if they have ace, king, or ace, queen, is to capitalize on the fact that they might not find the check raise on turn, and they might check call. Meanwhile, we get to deny a little bit. Okay, against recreational player here, we're just finding a normal barrel offline. We could check the turn here. This is a spot where they are especially merged, though. There's some worse queen, 10s, jacks, etc. How much air do they have here? Not that much. I'm going to favor bet. I think check raise in general is good here. Like, if it's a board they're going to go, like, mad protecting equity on, like a low board, I like check. On this board, I like bet. And this ace really does suck. This is not the card we wanted to see. How much air do they have? Like king, jack of hearts, jack 10 of hearts, jack 9. Could I get them to bluff an underpair here? I think here they don't have a lot of ace-x. They might bluff an underpair, and they might have missed the draw. So I think check call is actually a better line here. So just because we're the warrior doesn't mean we're always going to aggress. Of course, they can just have the nuts here, like ace, queen, 7s, 8s as well. I think check call is a better river line. 3s. Interesting turn call, my friend. He's not expecting to get check called on that river, because that river is a spot where nobody ever does anything but fold after they check. But the warrior has tricks beneath the helmet, guys. The warrior has tricks up his sleeve. You may be wondering if I can see the screen right now, and the answer is kind of. A little bit, I can see the screen. Sorry, guys, I've hidden the YouTube chat like an absolute boomer. This guy, is that the same guy? No, it's not the same guy, is it? I don't think it's the same guy. That could be a call. That's very close with ace queen off. That's my threshold hand there. Ace queen suited, I call. Ace king, I call. 10s, I call. I don't think it's the same guy. If it's the same guy, I need to absolutely call because it's like any two cards. I just didn't think it was the same guy. The BPIT was higher, right? I should know. That's terrible. Terrible memory. Let's check 7s. Just checking the middle here. Ace 5, you can go either way. Let's play a 3-bet pot. Let's go. Let's keep playing loads of 3-bet pots today. That is the idea. Right. Sorry, guys, I timed out there. I don't have time to think about that. Raise is kind of reasonable. But that line is generally not great for fold equity. When you check back turn, they expect you to... The thing is, though, on that particular river, we do get quite uncapped. So I think raise is reasonable there with lots of random hands. And if we think 7s is 0 EV to call or thereabouts, raising it might be best. Yeah, raise is definitely interesting there. What was I doing? Right, let's find the YouTube chat. Where the hell has that gone? Here it is. Okay. Hello, William McCusker says, hey, live, quickly run to about 5k bankroll, moving up to 100 NL. I took a shot at 200 and pushed around 7k and then fell again. Do you recommend one-on-one coaching Or do you think the silver carrot would be better? Definitely the silver carrot, like when you first start. Like one-on-one coaching, honestly, if you've not done tuition at Carrot Corner, like if you've not taken the silver carrot at least, and possibly you could even say this about the golden carrot, that you should do the golden carrot. Getting coaching is just not the most efficient or affordable way. I'm actually doing less coaching now. I'm basically not taking on new students. I'm just working with the ones I've got if they want to renew, and I'm winding it down to really focus on the business. Start with smallish here. I'm working on the business, and okay, so you do not really want to invest this spot. I'm gonna go third pot. You don't really want to invest this spot by check calling when you can invest by betting small. And when they call and not raise you, and when they call that quickly, you can get a bit greedier again on river. They're going to have a worse ace here. They're going to have, I'm going to go huge on river, but something like this, they're going to have a jack. There also could just be a net with a flush or something as well. It's possible. Nets just don't raise ever, so they don't need to think about it. Okay, it's a net with a flush. Almost certainly. Very, very easy fold, guys. If you call in that spot, you don't deserve to play the game. It's worth taking the helmet off for. Hello, Sam. Welcome to the chat. Hope you're looking forward to our show. Sam says, Pete has helped me reach 2k NL in my career. Happy to provide my graph if you DM me on Discord. It's true. Not just Sam. I've helped a lot of people reach 2k NL. I am a coach first and foremost, guys. I'm not a poker player anymore, but I do play poker for you. So be grateful you get to see it. Just kidding. I play poker for you for your viewing pleasure. If this wasn't what you wanted to see, I wouldn't do it. I do enjoy it if I'm in the right mood, though. I do enjoy it as well. I just came in to see Pete is wearing a helmet. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so we go for a 3-bet here against a recreational player with ace-jack suited. Flop's quite an interesting spot. I am going to go with a really small c-bet. I hate that timer, man. It's going all the time. So if this is a recreational with 32 VPIP, it might not be a recreational actually, but they can be calling this flop with absolutely anything. I probably don't have any recourse on turn. I'm definitely checking river now as well, and hoping that I win against like king queen or something. I think I will sometimes win against like ace 9, king queen, something like this. It's not going to be very common, but it's possible. Are there going to be more playstyles in the future? I think so, yeah. Like I've definitely come up with what I think the first few are that are the most different to one another to be worth segregating, if that makes sense. But I can definitely think of some others. When that clown mask arrived, I actually thought, like, what would the evil clown playstyle be? Then we could reassign the menace to a different mask. And it would definitely be like really weird, bizarre lines. I don't have my 2.5. Screw it, we'll just go 3x today and small blind for now. Can't be bothered, it's not a big enough difference. Sometimes people are coming on the stream and are like, is it 2.5 or is it 3 out of the small blind? It's just this build a strategy you're happy with and get used to it, you know? That's really all you got to do. This mask is horrendous. All right. Let's go big out of the big blind here with queens. Let's keep going kind of biggish. I'm going to check this horrendous hand. This blocks the maximum amount of folds possible. So I'm going to check fold this one on the flop. Even as the warrior, I do have some standards. Now, do we want to use block or do we want to use check? I'm going to use block. 3 BBs against tight looking player with 9-8 off. Just going to be opening this one. Should be plus EV. What is your range? Your range is draws that whiffed with 1 diamond, 4x, 3x, 5, 6s, 7s, ace high. Yeah, I think there's more hands that call in here than hands that bluff. Although there are quite a lot of hands that bluff, but I do block some of them with the 10 of clubs. 10 of clubs is one of the biggest blockers to the bluffing range on the river there, because villain's likely to bet jack 10 on flop, and therefore I'm mainly blocking things like gutters on turn with that card. Jack 4-3. We are just going to play small. Getting into the flow with the warrior here, guys. It's going to be a lot of bluffing coming your way. Now this is really interesting, this turn bet I'm going to make here, right? It's a little bit of an overreach. Little bit of an overreach with deuces specifically as button. It's under the gun, it would be totally fine. Our range strength would support it. The reason it's a little bit of an overreach is that it's this hand. This guy has like This guy's mad. He has like ace-8 of spades and I'm going to win. And the reason this is awesome is that it's a hybrid bet on the turn. Ace-8 of spades, king-queen, yeah, I knew it. I knew from his you suck that I'd won that pot. So face up with the emojis, man. What is it? It's a hybrid, my friend. It's a hybrid. It's a hybrid, my friend. Remember that time a tilted regfish got mad that he got owned by Pete on stream in a warrior mask? Let me explain that play. When you overbet 2.x, 2 point something x pot on the turn. I'll explain the play first, then I'm going to explain the read and how I knew I was going to win on the river, right? I'm going to explain both separately. So the play is a hybrid, meaning that it has multiple functions that increase EV. Those functions are primarily value. Okay, we're behind when called. It's not a value bet in the purest sense, so don't jump the gun here, guys. Don't be like, Pete said he was value betting the... That's not what I mean. But we do get called by king-queen that shits itself and doesn't want to raise. Flush draws that don't want to raise for the same reasons. They've defecated themselves. And then we have the denial element. We have two deuces. So if we do have the best hand, and villain has one of those terrible hands, let's do the same thing here with king 4. It's exactly the same spot. Use 2 and a bit x pot. Get the fold this time. Same thing, same deal. Bunch of nutted redraw. The deuces, the value element of the deuces, by the way, is also that they have a bunch of nutted redraw. Do you know how good it is to bank a deuce in that line? Do you understand how good it is, guys? It's very, very good, right? To hit the deuce. So that's why those plays make sense, and that's why you want to use them as the warrior. Value is a redraw and getting called by draws that you're ahead of. Denial is having the lowest pair in the world and getting villain to fold a bunch of overcards. And bluff is getting villain to fold a bunch of second pairs, under pairs, third pair, fourth pair. So from villain's point of view, in their tiny, angry mind, they can't comprehend what happened to them there, and they're very upset, and they think I'm a fish. Actually, GTO does this. Maybe not button versus big blind. Maybe it's like, oh, deuces is too rich in showdown value. You've got to start it, you know, king high or whatever. I don't care. Ace high, whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is that it's a really good play against a human, because human's going to be even more passive and even more timid against that than a solver. The solver's going to find some rebluff frequency, maybe, from out of position there. It's wild, right? And it's the same thing with the king 4. So look for that play, like going giant on the turn. You want a few things to be true. One, their range is mostly capped. I prefer to bet here. 2, you have a deep SBR. And 3, you have that hand that's low down in showdown value, but can get called by worse, can improve the better. That's all of that going on. Since we're the warrior today, guys, let's just put this guy to the absolute sword. Let's put him to the gladiatorial device here. And let's, no, we're not going to overbet this particular turn texture. We're going to use a big but not overbet sizing on this one. Better open aces, though. So again, from timing, we can tell what these players have. This guy's a queen. Look at that timing. That's not really the timing of a 7. It's the timing of a queen. I think we should... It does look really nitty, but I think I'm going to go around pot, actually. We don't have the best 7 in the world. We are losing to some 7. I think this is the right sizing. He can have a 7, by the way. But I think it's usually a queen. But I want to get called by a queen at a really high frequency and keep my cost down a little bit if I run into a better 7. So I prefer near pot to overbet here. In this node. Okay, we're warming up, guys, now. Feeling the warrior vibes here. Feeling the warrior vibes. Queen 10. Ace 8. Look at the effect this mask has, guys. Ace 8 is not a terrible bluff catcher, actually. I mean, some of our bluffs will contain an 8 there, but not many. And the ace is definitely an unblocker, and blocker to ace 7. An ace queen. Yeah. Let's be in it to win it with a 7-6. Let's get involved. Let's play some cards. What are you saying, guys? So what are you saying now, KK, Kara, Konokolos? Have I convinced you that I know what I'm talking about yet? Or will I keep destroying this pool as the warrior for a while longer? Till you're convinced, Mr. Kara Konokolos. Sounds Greek. Sounds Spartan. Athenian. What do we want to do? Check call this time. One big blind. Oh, we're running good, guys. Check raise? Yeah, I think check raise giant. Well, Queen 10 got there. That's such a shame. Let's look at his timing and his sizing. By the way I knew I was winning that river when the guy started emoting was that he was angry. And he's only angry if he's just lost the pot and he's given up, right? That's the only way you can have an outlet. Whereas, I'm going to raise here. if he actually still has a bluff catcher, he's likely just to check and hope I don't bluff, and then he's going to be cagey. So that's how I knew. Oh dear. This is probably queen 10. I need some time here, guys. We're drawing dead against queen 10. Let's be honest with ourselves. How often? Yeah, I'll pay a big blind to think about this, mainly for the stream and for me, because I kind of need some time to think about this. So, do you 3-bet here with an overpair? Only if you're an absolute whale. I'm going to discount that completely. Do you have a set? Well, if you have a set, maybe you have a set, but then you do have some redraw against me. I have no redraw at all against queen 10. Queen 10 is 16 combos, whereas he's hijack, right? So he's opening 16 combinations of queen 10. Could you have 2-pair? Well, jack 8 doesn't really open hijack very often. He has 27 VPIP, which is... I might fold here, guys. I think I'm going to fold here. I think we lose almost always to queen 10. Yeah. The non-all-in as well. The non-all-in 3-bet. Like, it could be a set. Yes. Is it ever a bluff? No. How abundant is queen 10 in range? It's 16 combinations. 16! It's a lot of combinations. Does he ever have a chop? Hardly ever. That only exists suited and I block it. Does he have 2-pair? Again, not really. Jack 9 suited? Maybe. Opens that position? Jack 9 offsuit? I don't think does. Does he have an overpair? No. Does he have a flush? Does he have a flush draw? Potentially sometimes, but it's not that likely. What is my hand? It's almost a bluff catcher, but not quite, because I do think I do win against some sets and stuff there. I do think I win against some sets and stuff there. The problem is the queen 10 combos are so abundant. So for every set, that's 3 combos. The queen 10 is 16 combos, right? It's completely unblocked. So if a set is less likely to re-raise the turn, re-raise, than queen 10, and a set is far less base combos than queen 10, then a set is far less common than queen 10. And there's building work going on in my house, which is why it sounds like the ceiling is going to collapse. Sounds like the builder may have fallen through the floor. So that fold is kind of obscene looking, but actually, they just have queen 10 75% of the time. And that means we're drawing dead 75% of the time. And then the rest of the time, we're still a dog. So why do we want to play for a stack there? We've just found out like what that range actually is. I think that's a good fold. I think that looks like incredibly nitty, and a lot of people are going to hate it because queen 10 is one hand, but you need to think in combinations, not in terms of hand. Jack 8 is trash multi-way. We're just going to let it go. I think that is the fold of a warrior. If I had a set, by the way, I would never fold. Bad 8's there. Because now I have redraw against queen 10 and I beat a bunch of other hands. But 7-6 is worse than having a set there. It's worse than having middle set there. Maybe worse than having top set. It is not the hand you want for that spot. I'm going to try and fix this table a second, guys. There we go. Fix my webcam a bit here. Okay, let's bet the flop. You know what's coming on the turn, don't you? As Shu says, my student Shu, she says, overbet is incoming. On this turn, I'm just going to pop. I'm not going to overbet. Because villain gets a bit uncapped, and the sizing is going to have all the leverage we need. Thank you for telling me what you have. Bye-bye. Right, chat, what are you saying? If you can't get rid of the sound, you can try right-clicking the volume icon on Windows and mute the GG from the mixer. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to have to do that. I don't really need any sound right now, so I could just mute my entire system sound. Because that is so ridiculous that I can't get rid of the sound, though, right? Like, imagine launching a patch like that where you can't get rid of the sound. Maybe I'm just being silly, but I actually don't think you can. So far, the session is going pretty well. I'm enjoying it. I've got a recreational player in the blind, so I'm going to 3x the button. I'm going to play a bigger pot against this recreational 36. Shoe scat. Looks like a recreational. Do I want to give recreational a bit of room here? Do I want to bet a big blind, get a little bit of denial? My hand's semi-vulnerable. Don't really care. Let's bet one big blind. Then not full probably. I don't actually like this on this board. I like this on a dry board where my hand's like more of a clear bet call. It's an okay line, but it's not actually my favorite line. I go really small, 3 bets in position. Check. And let's see what they do in river. How quickly you're going to check to me? Quite quickly. Could that be a queen? Is that timing congruent with a queen? We're gonna shove ace queen or call ace queen. We're gonna call ace queen. We're a bit deeper here. We beat all the other tens. He could still have a queen though. Doesn't think about raising a flop against one big blind. I'm gonna get greedy here. I think a queen thinks about raising a flop against one big blind. Sometimes it's probably a queen now with that. Okay, got him. Got him. Guy's gonna filter half pot with ace queen here. I don't think we can continue there. Yeah, a bit greedy on the river, but I think it's right. You want to put the timing together, right? The other reason that I knew that guy was drawing in that previous hand, where he was hating on me with emojis, where he got wrecked, was because of his turn timing. It was very much the turn timing of like, I have a draw. I don't like the fact that you've bet that big, but I have to call it. So let's just get this over with and see if I hit the river. And then I was like, I didn't hit the river. You suck. You suck. You suck. Where's your graph, bro? You know, that's what it was. So I will be taking a few coffee breaks throughout the stream. Why is it useful to pick a style? Says Nicholas. Well, Nicholas, one, it just injects a bit more direction into your game, but also a bit more fun. So like if you know that you are drawn to aggressive play, you can say, I am the warrior, I define my game in this way. And now I'm studying good bluff spots. I'm looking for these opportunities to exploit people by bluffing. I'm trying to play big pots. I'm trying to make my opponents hate playing against me. That's who I want to be. It gives you direction and purpose and identity in a human way, not just in a solver way. Because if you do this in a solvery way, what happened here? I isolated, right? Yeah, I'm going to definitely start with a c-bet here and do some pressure application in a minute. So it puts that sense of you giving yourself direction into a format, let's say, into a syntax that your subconscious brain likes, and it generates dopamine and endorphins, and it makes you feel like you're performing a role in the tribe. It's a very like bro evolutionary psychologist answer, because I am not an evolutionary psychologist, but I do notice shit and I do think it's true. And I think the more you recreate like having a role in the tribe, having a purpose, and it's a fold against 2.5, that kind of thing, the more your brain lights up in the right areas and the more fun it feels to do stuff. And the more fun something is, the more long-term charge your batteries are likely to be for that thing, right? So if you just open up GTO Wizard and you're like, I'm a guy that plays B40 on the flop, it's like, okay, but like how much does that really resonate with you on a deep level, like on a primal level? What does that do for you? Like probably nothing. Whereas if you say I'm a warrior, that gives you a role in the tribe and now your brain likes it. Like if you say I'm a weasel, that's fine. There are weasels among us. You know, there are people who aren't natural born leaders or fighters, and their job is to go around and build the tunnels in the lair, burrowing about. It's the weasel. Fine. No worries. Gathering the berries, spearing the small animals. That's fine. We all have different jobs. I like being the weasel some days. It's a fun strategy. You know, so if you decide who you're going to be, and then you have someone skilled that you can listen to that tells you what nodes to study, or you just become skilled and you learn what nodes to study for that role. Like if you're playing the warrior, you can see here I need to study turn c-bet, right? That's why I fired that up at the start of the stream, because I'm c-betting the flop small, and then I'm playing a bunch of turns. I'm playing turn c-bet all the time, and I'm aggressing on it, and I want to know what hands to follow through river. I want to know my value thresholds. I want to know how to play. Don't study facing turn probe when you're the warrior, because you're c-betting the flop all the time, so you don't need to. I'm gonna open this. Am I? Yeah. Yeah, probably not. Have I already missed that this is Sparta war cry in a Scottish accent? No, I've not done that yet. I can do it for you later. Is the helmet part of the poker strategy? Yeah, anyone that's watching this is really intimidated right now and they're already throwing emojis and crying. It looks like it's like they're scared. I would be scared too if I had to play against the warrior. I would be very scared. Hi Pete, greetings from Glasgow. Hello, neighbor. I'm not far from you. I'm just outside of Glasgow. Do I need to be a Carrot Corner member to order database review? Yes. It only comes with the golden carrot. It's not me that does it. It's James Shea that's doing it this Easter. But to take advantage of that, you need to be a golden carrot member. It's an exclusive offer for golden carrot purchasers, customers. during Easter. So not only do you have to get the Golden Carrot Pass to get that special offer, but you have to get it during the Easter sale, which is when you want to get it anyway because it's 10% cheaper, right? Or if you're not ready to invest that level yet, you're not all in your game yet, you're not committed to the full poker education, you don't know if it's for you, Silver Carrot will get you started. It'll get you up and running. Check that out. That is currently 20% off and save £80 on it. Does the Menace overbet the Turner River much, says Big Fat Gora? No. The Menace uses a lot of small c-bets and then smaller turn bets, and the Menace's remit is basically relentless, constant, gnawing aggression, just chipping away at people, leading and 3-betting whenever they can. I'm very card dead just now, guys, but it'll change in a minute. That's the Menace, aka the Evil Clown. So it'll be a different style tomorrow. It won't be the Warrior because we can't play the same style twice. I go like the polar 10 big blind size here. I think this is good. I'm going to go for cold 4-bet with Ace 5 suited. Slightly over men is fine. Excited to find more about the Weasel. The Weasel is an anti-rake strategy. So it's all about staying out of spots where you pay loads of rake and you play loads of big pots to no avail, that you're not really studied, you don't have an edge. The Weasel is about time optimization as well. It's about basically clicking through the bad spots by avoiding them and getting more of your time spent playing the good spots. It's a tight looking recreational and cutoff here, so I think this hand is okay to open. Let's throw in a little 3-ball here. I'm gonna go smallish. Can I type some? Oh my god, I can't type things. Let's just go 6, guys. So the Weasel is all about this sort of, my time is precious, my hourly is precious, I don't want to pay rake, I don't want to waste time in some 4-bet pot against a reg that I could be spending opening king 9 off on the button against the fish. That's very much the idea. Recreational, maybe. Yeah, I think this lineup's weak enough that we want to make this peel. And then playing this spot, I have some backdoors here and unblockers to the folding range. I think a small raise here is warranted against range bet. They really shouldn't range bet here. A small raise is absolutely warranted. Again, it's a hybrid-y type hand, right? Warrior! If Shu was here, she'd be loving this because she loves it when the line that fits the player profile works. That's like our favorite thing. She's like, pull a bit when like the big bluff works on the flop. But this is fun. And like, you know, I was saying this to my strategist the other day. I was like, listen, man, people are liking the styles. They like the animals. They like the masks. They like this whole idea. And why is that? It's because it's human. You know, it's something human in this age of like AI generated slop and kind of depressingness. I call King Jack. A little bit more polar out of the blind here. I'm going to check this hand. The showdown value is pretty good. I think check is higher AV than bet. Okay. Pure fold. Being out of the group causes depression. Correct. Certainly does. There's a precursor to expecting your own demise, presumably. I'm going to call here. Play a pot with this recreational. I'm going to fold here. Although it's very close against men, I would call. And it's very hard to get called by stuff here. However, it's not impossible. And there are reasons why you want to build the pot here. You want to build the pot here because 1, King Jack Jack 10 will call you now, but likely not invest on river. 2, if villain has an ace that beats you, you can absolutely horrifically cooler it on a heart river. And 3, villain might just call 1 with 9s and stuff there. People do that. They're like, I call 1 with 9s, even though it's just probably a bad turn call. So you definitely want to bet the turn. You don't want to go check call mode there. Why would you consider shoving ace queen suited button versus cutoff 4-bet? Because there's a certain breed of reg in the pool that overbluffs cutoff versus button. I didn't have a clear enough read that that was who that was, but they do exist. And because of that, shoving ace queen suited could be really good, especially if they're c-betting flop really often and then we're like kind of accidentally folding too much. I'm not saying that's definitely happening for me, but it would be for a lot of students wherever they're like, oh, this guy's like over bluffing, but I'm going to call ace queen suited anyway, and then every time I don't hit top pair I just end up folding to a small c-bet. Like that can be a problem, right? So you might want to consider it. If someone's definitely over bluffing pre, jamming any hand against the 4-bet that like runs decent equity against jacks is going to be all right, to be honest. If your hand is okay against jacks or okay against ace king, then it's never going to be bad to jam it pre-flop against someone that's over bluffing. It's not like people play 4-bet pots so well that they blow loads of EV by not taking the call line. It's not that the call line is like that great for the calling human. The calling human always underperforms compared to the aggressing human. That's just how it goes. That is just how it goes, guys. Ten eight gets there, king 10, etc. I think we'll go small overbet. We have big overbet and we have small overbet, and it depends on the nuttedness of the turn spot. When the turn is semi-nutted like this, the warrior's going to use the small overbet. When it's very unnutted, like a 7, they're just going to go like close to pot. Oh, the uber nuts, and Villain has a 10 all the time. Are they going to fold a 10 if we go all in? I really don't think so. Do we care if they fold something else? No, not really. I think they've got enough 10 here. It doesn't matter. Just maximizing against a 10 is just the best play. That could be a recreational as well, in which case they're never folding a 10. So we'll just go all in. We do blow some calls sometimes from 2-pair sets. 1 pair might fold to just any bet on that card anyway, so we don't really cost ourselves that much. And I don't think there's enough combos of 2-pair and sets to be that relevant. If I knew that was a really good reg, I'd need to think about the meta of that shove a bit more and how well I thought it was performing. What was I saying there? What was I explaining, guys? Yeah, so the overbet thing. So the bigger the nut advantage, the bigger the overbet's going to be at these low SPRs. What I'm intentionally doing. What is this? I'm just folding. Clearly I'm folding. I don't care. What I'm doing with the overbets is going really, really big on the total bricks, always leaving an SPR where I want to do that, by the way. So I want people to face these 2x pot bets for me a lot here, these 2.5x pot overbets. I want that to be a big thing that happens. We have to play Jack 9 of clubs because it's the carrot man hand. This is losing on this table. Look at all these regs, by the way. This is not a table you want to open this hand on. It's probably negative, honestly, but we're going to do it because it's the carrot man hand. See, rewarded for loyalty to the brand. Speaking of the brand, silver bad boy over there. £80 off until Monday only. Save 20% on our hero offer and our flagship offer on the Golden Carrot. You get 10% off our complete system. That's permanent access to the Golden Library and all of the Golden courses. I'm going to call the 10s here. And let's think about what Villain is doing here. So what's your range at this point? Let's track the range. Whenever you get in a 3-bet pot, just practice tracking the range roughly. They have ace, queen, ace, king, king, queen, king, jack, ace, 10. Kings, aces, ace, queen, ace, 5, just all sorts of stuff like this. Best place to call and see what they do. And if they start checking, we start bluffing this node. Because I don't think they're going to expect it, and I don't think... Okay, what do you have now? You have like ace, queen, king, queen, aces, kings mostly. Maybe some nut stuff, maybe some bluff still. Okay, just mapping out their range again, an easy call. And if they check this river, we are bluffing. We need to pick a sizing. What do they have if they check this river? Probably kings or king, queen or king, jack. Maybe ace, king. All in probably delivers the best clout against this line. And we have tons of nuts here. Yeah, I'm going to go all in here, guys. Take a little bit of time and then put the stack in. And hope to avoid the station. We have very few bluffs in this line, actually. We have like queen 10, maybe. If we turn that into bluff, jack 10, 10s. Let's hope Villain isn't watching the stream and seeing us in the warrior mask, though. Because that could be a little bit awkward. Okay, we 4-bet here. And called. Let's go for this sizing. Make peace with this. Very happy with the play. Don't care if it works. Very happy with it. That's such a bad call. I felt like it was coming, but it's a really bad call against Pool in this line. This spot here, Villain has some jacks, they have some nines, they have some king, queen, jack 10. We have the ace of diamonds here. We're supposed to give up this combo. Do I want to make an exception to that against this player? No, I think I will give up this particular combo. There's still a time to give up. Unfortunately, we don't get that through Botens. I think that's the best bang for your buck sizing. Sometimes those kind of players can be very sticky. It's just annoying. Against Pool globally, that's going to be pretty good. Without ace of diamonds here, I'm usually just betting this combo. It just puts a lot more of the ace 5 of diamonds, ace jack of diamonds stuff in their range for the auto fold. 13's a little big, 12 is fine. So yeah, playing really well today, I think, as Warrior. Really happy with this. Just not our biggest two bluffs have not got through, so that's expensive in the short term, but it's okay in the long term. Are we 100% sure it's a real Carrot Man behind the helmet? It's not a Viking helmet, by the way. Like, quick correction, Michael. I need to educate you here on helmets a little bit. It's not normally my job to educate people on helmets. Like, it's usually poker that I teach, but Viking helmets have 2 horns. Spartan helmets and Roman helmets have this. And it's a Roman helmet, actually, right? It's like a Roman Imperial Legion helmet, maybe? I don't know, man.
It's a Roman Imperial Legion helmet.
Proper nerdy shit. I never thought, you know, when I was in school, growing up, putting on my school uniform, trudging to the bus stop in the morning, that my job would be sitting here, 39 years of age, in a Spartan helmet, talking about cards. I'd have thought this was some kind of simulation if you told me that. Hey, maybe it is anyway, right? Maybe it is anyway. Oh, I meant to bet the flop here, and now they've overbet the turn and we have to fold. That's a little bit of a shame, but what can you do? Okay, deuces. Check call flop, looking for some opportunities later as Warrior here. This spot, not really fantastic. I'm just gonna fold actually. They need to find quite a lot of low equity bluffs in that spot, that sizing, and well, some, and I should definitely have a folding range. By low equity bluffs, I just mean pair draws, which are normal bluffs, but a lot of people just don't bet with them. You can test if it's a bot to many 6BB click, and you will see the insta fold. Are there lots? Would you say? Would you say this is a common thing that's happening right now on this site? It's kind of disconcerting. That ace king call, man, is going to be so losing to do that. Never do what they did, by the way, guys, because the amount of people that can find bluffs with 10s in this pool in my shoes are few and far between. I may be a victim of my own helmet here, to be honest. Or I just ran into a station that's like, ace king is good hand. But yeah, my bluffs are literally pocket 10s, and I think jack 10. And it's so hard to think of anything else, and I have to find them, and then I have all those like straights and sets and 2-pair and shit. Not that I necessarily jam 2-pair, but I might. They're just so like ace king kings heavy when they check that river. Really, really happy with that hand. That's one thing, and why am I going on about it, right? Because this is something I tell my students to do. When a hand is played well by you, eights. There's a recreational here. This is just a little bit too big, I think, for this to be winning. No 8 dealer. Thank God. Don't do that, by the way, either. I'm just messing. When you play a hand well and it doesn't work, you saw me do a few things there, right? So I made peace with what I was doing with the bluff first. After I made it, before I made it's ideal, right? If you actually make peace with it before you do it, then you don't care. You try and just like not worry about whether it gets called or not. You're happy either way. You've made peace. And then when they do call, it's not like, yes, it's annoying and it maybe hurts a bit and you wish it worked and it's a bit painful because it's a big pot and you got stacked, but it's not as though your self-worth is on the line anymore. You know? You take your self-worth out of it by saying, I'm really happy with how I've played this the moment you press it, rather than sitting there on the edge of your seat like, please let this work so I can feel good about myself. That's a really unhealthy place to be with poker. Oh my God. This guy shows. I'm not folding kings here. As Giraffe says, you know, you've got to be a man and you've got to get stacked with kings. Also, I think this could be a recreational, so it could be ace, king, queens. I think it's aces quite a bit, though. Nines. So against a recreational, you just don't fold kings. Run it once is fine with me. I don't get a fucking cash out. A fucking warrior. Come on. Warriors don't cash out, guys. Deuce of clubs. Deuce of clubs. I'll do. Upside down 9 is no good. Speaking as a Viking, my helmet doesn't have any horns. You're a Viking? You from Denmark? Norway? Is Sweden also a Viking country? Is Finland a Viking country? I don't think it is. Pretty sure Finland isn't a Viking country, but correct me if I'm wrong. Let's talk Vikings for a minute, guys. We did a project on the Vikings in primary school. I remember it well. We went to a Viking museum, and a lot of the kids were buying souvenirs, like little Viking statues and shit. And I spent my souvenir money on a big box of shortbread. Then I ate the shortbread on the bus on the way home, and this other kid was like, "It's such a shame that you don't have a memento from this lovely day." And I was like, "Shut up. I'm not getting any of my shortbread now." I didn't give him a single piece of shortbread. And do I regret it? Do I wish I had a memento from that day? No. Can I just order a Viking helmet or a Spartan helmet online and put it on and then use it to sell stuff? Yeah. So shut up. I have to get a bit loopy, guys, to be able to stream for a whole day, because otherwise I just don't have the energy. So this insanity is how I keep myself going. If you've watched me for years, you'll know this. You'll know that I do this. Ooh. 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 Oh, it's like that, isn't it? It's like it's like that, is it? I lead half pot. I'm gonna lead third pot and play a lot of leads. Damn, I wanted to call the fours. I'll keep play a lot of leads in this, but I'm gonna make this guy's life hell. Hell. Now, if I claim that I have a 5, they do have a lot of 5s here, but if I overbet this river and claim that I have a 5, how are you going to deal with that? Yeah, you're not going to deal with that, are you? Like, I'd have to be insane to overbet that river. The thing is, his range has so many things that aren't 5s. He has, like, Missed Heart. He has, like, I just have a pure bluff in theory, but with that hand. But he also has just, like, kings with no heart. Like, are you going to call kings no heart there? Like, maybe, but probably not, right? Probably not. At least we got Bluff through as the warrior. That's a chap that's not watching the stream, guys. He's not seeing the helmet, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, they can't all be watching the helmet because there's probably not that many people even watching. There's my door, guys. I've got to go in case my wife can't get that. I'll be back in a sec. This is something important. This is my old PC getting picked up, perhaps, to get fixed. I'll be right back. I better take this helmet off, right? That'd be embarrassing. It was The shopping, guys. Shopping arriving. Not as exciting. My PC still remains covered in coffee and broken. I can't get PC specialists to come and pick it up. I've tried, and they just keep messing up the simple thing of getting someone to come and pick up my PC. I'm having a coffee break, guys. I'm just making the coffee just now. So when I come back, we'll be jumping back into the pool and we'll continue to warrior the hell out of these people. That's the plan. Tons of bots, you think, on 100 and 200? Okay, we'll keep our eye out. Is the horn the red fluffy part? I'm struggling to see the purpose of it in battle. I think it's basically a form of peacocking. It's like, look how hard we are, look how cool we are. We have this thing. It's showing off, basically. It's being flamboyant. It's like, look at me, I'm so good in battle. Like, these guys were like insanely good at fighting as well, right? You think that like the UFC fighters today are scary, like the top UFC fighters, like the guys that were trained in battle with like maces and swords and shit, like that's way scarier. Way scarier. Like back in the day, you like the average guy back in the day was like an incredible fighter, right? There was like no bad fighters, no people that aren't trained in some form of warfare. What a time. Time to be alive, the medieval times, huh? Right, so coffee is brewing. I'm going to go back and get it, and then we're going to play more poker. We're here till 2 o'clock today before we take a half-hour break, and then we'll be back with Cat and Carrot. I'll remind you while I am away that the Easter sale is on at Carrot Corner. I'll put our offers back up on the screen in case you have potentially forgotten what they are. There you go. There's our offers. Easter sale. 20% off the Silver Carrot Pass. Bunch of money off the Golden Carrot Pass as well. 10% off that. And a personalized stat review with the James Shea Carrot Corner Silver Carrot Library Coach and Database Review Specialist Resident Database Expert in our community, renowned for going through your database and making you a video telling you what to fix. So I'll leave that on your screen so you can have a look. I'll actually move down to like the actual products so you can see what's in them. And I'll be back with my coffee in a minute. We're going to do some more Warrior. Don't go anywhere, guys. Just chill. Just go take a little break. Come back. Watch the stream. Let's get the viewers up. Let's make this Easter party one to remember. We'll Warrior all day today. Different profile all day tomorrow. Different one all day on Monday. One of the profiles won't get a shot, by the way, because there's only 4 profiles I've made so far, and I've only got 3 days to stream over Easter. So one will miss out. All right, coming back. hello guys. Let's get back to battle. Ah, my coffee going on here. Can't drink my coffee with a helmet though. Can I? Kinda can. It's not the best. Does that go in the helmet? Ah, that's fine. That'll be okay. Right. To table, play and explain. Deal me in, dealer. Let's go. Warriors don't take their helmets off to answer the door. Very true, Bart Raven, yeah. Very true. It's 3-bet the 5s here. Could be a weaker player this one. We don't know. So let's get involved. You always want to get involved with the could be recreationally tight type players because usually they're going to under 4-bet. I'm going to flat this 4-bet. Yes. I think I am going to flat the size of 4-bet with 5s. 5 please, dealer. From that board to that sizing, our hand is a fold. Like Gladiator with Russell Crowe. Exactly. It's exactly the style of helmet. It's a Spartan helmet, right? Or is that a Roman helmet? I don't actually know. It's one of the two. By the way, if that's like the MDA reg, we should just shove the 5s pre. If the MDA reg 4-bets you, you just always shove, guys. Not always shove. If you have like ace 10 offsuit, it might be losing, right? But if you have like a pair and the MDA reg 4-bets you, you shove. I just didn't know who it was. A 4-bet call off ace king here, a little bit deeper than normal. But we're still going to. I'm going to play 4-bet pots today. I'm going to lean towards the 4-bet pot more so than the 3-bet pot. Actually, against shove there for that stack, I might fold. When I go that size with my 4-bet, I might actually fold. 3x? No thanks. I can't see my hand. Okay, queen deuce. I was hoping it was queens. The medieval times, what a time. Slay 20 enemies, but at the end of battle, misstep on a fallen brother, pure shoot on a sharp metal, die from sepsis a week later. Yeah, exactly. The medieval times, like glory, like you vanquished, 100 enemies, 100 maidens for you that night, 100 banquets, 100 glasses of mead, and you like cut your finger on a tin opener and die. What a time to live. I don't think there were tin openers actually. You don't even get preserved goods. You have to eat the baked beans that day, the day that you grow them. You have to eat them. The baked bean plant. Let's go. 2-pair. Warrior. Let's do this, guys. So I hope this is still educational. I know I'm being a bit silly today, but I hope this is helping you see that this is a valid style. Just getting involved, attacking people, building this kind of image, and then being really annoying to play against. I'm actually going to start with loads of small bets. This is not a spot I normally would ever consider small betting. By the way, I would always polarize this spot from the get-go, but I'm playing a warrior style of small flop giant turn today. That's my toolkit. This guy is just leading randomly. He's probably got like king deuce. We could just have 2 random cards as well. I think raise is not necessary here. We'll just take whatever percentage we have. King deuce. Called it. God, I'm so good at hand reading today. I'm doing my A-game hand reading today. You'd say it was a lucky guess, guys, but clearly not. I only called because I wanted to show you I was right. You know? Defending blinds is always hard, right? It's always one of the toughest spots in the game tree. Playing out the big blind. But when you've mastered the min donk with king deuce, you got it down. You can defend any 2 now. Profitably. So, what's going on? What else is going on? I've been making the bronze carrot tier, which is going to be the lead magnet tier for Carrot Corner. It's going to be the free tier. It's an introductory thing. Not going to be big courses or anything like that, but it's going to be a few videos put together to show people that we make quality products. So I've been recording that for the past couple of weeks, and my editor's done a fantastic job on that. He's done really, really well. Super chuffed with how that's turned out. And we've gone for like 12 videos and sets of 3, ranging from stuff like basic hand reading, how winning players think, that kind of thing, the reasons for betting, up to stuff towards like mental game, variance and volume, starting your poker career, professional advice, that sort of thing. Call 6s here and check raise with the set. Yeah, check raise pretty big here. We're really deep as well. Really deep. Warrior. Yes, let's go warrior. Okay, we have to block turn. Super emergy range spot. Super thin value now. 9, 8. 9's good, I think. I'll go quarter pot with lots of hands here. This one is now a thin value hand. It's been demoted from super thick immortal nuts to kind of meh hand. If we get raised here, guys, they have a few bluffs in this line, but really none. Honestly, if I'm being honest, like basically none. I don't think we can fold the set. Maybe we can. The implieds are something on the river here. They are something. I wonder if we could fold the set. I mean, it's just so underbluffed. Like, we kind of need to hit, and then we need, like, to make some more money when we hit. I'm going to fold the river. Like a boss. Oops, I meant to bluff 3 deuce there. Just always bluff that spot. It shouldn't work, but it will work. Quite often. I wonder if we can fold the turn. Probably not. Maybe, though. I mean, he's never raising a bigger set, right? He's just got a flush or a flush draw. But it's going to be a flush, because to be bluffing, you need to take a hand that had showdown value that called a big check raise on flop. I bluff with it. You just don't have bluffs in that line ever. You just don't have bluffs. So pot odds wise, we don't have the direct price to mine. But if I think on a paired river I can lead for like half pot and get called pretty often, then I can probably call the raise, right? And I think I can. So as long as I lead the river for like half pot, then I can make that turn call winning against that pool. But make no mistake about it, the amount of times I'm actually good there without improving is almost none. But the good news is that I'm live like all the time. I have 10 outs and I have implieds. So if I have 20% equity, say I need like, what do I need to call that? Like 28% equity or something? Maybe 30%. So if I just make a bit of implieds, should get us over the line. But it's by no means a clearly winning turn call. It's actually very close to break even already, I think. Pretty sure I pressed bet there, no? I mean, this is okay as well. I think check call's okay here. I think check raise is okay here. I think check fold is okay. It's super close to everything. I'm just going to check call for now. Look to do some stuff. Hand is basically the indifferent hand in our range. Often does he have a 6? Not super often. I think most of my sizes are like this with an overpair of jack, that kind of thing. Just get him to fold like a random 5 or a 4 or ace high or an 8 or something like that. Because it's a spot where I don't really have many bluffs in my range, right? So block is going to be my primary sizing there. Just because I'm warrior doesn't mean I'm going to start overbetting in spots where most of my value hands are blocked. Yeah, they can't defend against one big blind c-bets. This is why I'm saying that opening the button is just so much better in practice than it is in theory. It's just so much better. Let's start with the check with the queens here on ace 10, 5 monotone. If there's a depolar hand in poker, this is probably it. Do I want a block turn or check turn? I think I just want a block turn. And here I will play the pesky start with a bet strategy. I could go bet check bet here. I think I like that. Let's get a bit of transparency. Let's see what happens. And you have what, like pocket pair club. You have a bow. I'm going to get a bit greedy here, actually. Yeah, I'm going to get a bit greedy against this guy. I mean, this isn't that greedy. This is kind of normal. How are you bluffing this node on the left-hand table, my friend? How are you bluffing here? Probably not bluffing there. Not very often, anyway. I'm good with the fold. We timed down, as we so often do, but I'm good with the fold. Any questions, guys? Michael Paul 1. Hey Pete, I'm the guy that 4-bet you with 7 deuce off when you had jacks a few years ago at Hippo. I remember the hand well. Sam was there too. Yep. I'm thinking of buying the yellow pass to support your work and to move to 2-5. Do it. Well, I would say that I'm biased, but yeah, the yellow pass, aka the golden. I think the golden passes. I think my branding's a bit better than yours. Michael. I'm going to stick with golden carrot, but yellow carrot's interesting. I mean, it is a yellow carrot, to be fair. To be fair to you. But yeah, it's an investment in your poker future. Like, you'll be watching that content for years and years to come, guys, if you get golden carrot. It's not just for Christmas, it's for life. It's like puppies in that sense. Okay, we are going to go big here against the recreational player because to hell with everything else. To hell with ranges and strategies and toolkits and warrior helmets and polar bear masks. We're just going to be going big. One big blind. Once again, guys, into the fray. This one's a value bet, though. Turn is a check. River is probably a snap call. What you doing, man? This could be anything. It could be a 6, it could be an 8, it could be a bluff. We dominate the hell out of bluffs. Our king out is purer than normal. It's not because we have the king of diamonds. I'm getting 3 to 1. I'm calling. Probably taking the worst of this. But do you know what? When you leave a fish's range wide, they can have all kinds of shit. This is usually a pocket pair. I'm still not folding. I think I win about 36% of the time here. And I need to win 20% of the time. 10-9. King, queen. Yeah. Maybe I win more than 36%, actually. Maybe it's like 45%. One big blind messes them up. What can I say? Messes them up, guys. You guys hear me okay through this helmet? Am I comprehensible? Scottish accent and helmet. Not the easiest combination to understand. What do we want to do with this hand? Do we want to raise? Yeah, I think we want to raise. How dare they just range bet here? I'll go small raise and just try and outplay them here. I'm not going to be using big raises in this spot. We have a spade, we have an overcard to the queen. Yeah, it's just whatever, isn't it? It's fine. Don't know what this is. Is this a reg? Probably not. Probably not. Snap call. That's me shown, guys. With my 4 deuce off. This could get messy. This could become a bit of a fight, guys. This could be embarrassing for me. This could get embarrassing for me. Just warning you. Or it could not. You could just snap fold the flop. On the other hand. Yeah, it's going to be a fight. I knew it. I could feel it. This guy snap calls. He limp snap calls a small blind. He wants to scrap. His range is like anything here, by the way. He doesn't realize how tiny his raise size is. It's quite funny. We'll just call. I'm not going to try and make him fold a queen. I'm not going to turn my hand into a bluff. And I'm not going to bluff the turn either because I think he probably isn't in the mood to fold his value check raising range on the flop, whatever the hell that is, and could just be bluffing. We're probably going to lose now one way or the other, unfortunately. If he bets river, though, I'll probably call. Oh, overbet, though. For some reason, might request time. A whole big blind to pay, though. Pot's not even that big. Just let it go, guys. I'll just let it go. But for some reason, and you should trust your gut in poker, something just kind of tells me, if that wasn't an overbet, right? Because fish overbets are generally quite strong. If that was just like a B75, something tells me it's just like a bluff really often on river with that line. Snap, check, turn, check, raise, flop, tiny with like a really wide base range. Maybe I should have just called the river. There's a couple of problems against fish, though. One is that when they overbet, they're generally a lot stronger. And the second problem is that when they have a random low pair, they just randomly bluff with it sometimes. Not because they understand hybrids or like demotion of showdown value or anything like this or bottom of range, but because they just do. And then you call with 4 deuce and you lose to like 6s. And it's like, well, yeah, you kind of asked for it. So there's a couple of reasons why I wouldn't actually call that spot, but I can see reasons for it. I do think that's a bluff pretty often. Thank you for the compliment to the helmet. Kato Mastaff, thank you. This board's not quite connected enough that I'll build the donk range. I can play small check raise here. I'm going to be leading all day at third pot here. It's the warrior style, but I would do this anyway. It's a very good theoretical situation to just lead small. Villain does have a 9 sometimes. They usually have ace high. I'm going to be 75. I'm going to be greedy-ish here. I'm not going to overbet on the 9 river. I don't think my hand's good enough. And I think I'll get heroed by ace high sometimes at that sizing. By some players. You guys are a bit quiet. What's going on? What is going on, guys? You're awful quiet. On YouTube and Twitch. What are you guys saying? How many viewers do we have? 69 viewers. I mean, that's not the worst, right? Let's keep building that number today, and tomorrow and Monday we'll be here doing these streams with the masks and the helmets for the next few days. Playing some poker. Okay, King Jack. You know what's coming. It's going to be the one big blind. Both the Menace and the Warrior start like this. Then they split from each other because the Menace goes typically smaller and mergier on turn, and Warrior's a bit more polar. This is going to be a small overbet spot for me on turn. And so I'm going to check my hand and go bet, check, bet here. Not on that river though, probably. Probably have to check this river. I could play Giant Raise on this card actually, but how often do I really check King Queen on turn? Is this believable? I can have 2 pair. I don't think this spot's great for anything actually. Everything just gets there, right? We block King X of Spades, everything else just gets there. We did go one big blind on flop, but I still don't think there's many bluffs in that line. I think it's razor fold, guys, after they've filtered on flop there. I think it is razor fold in that line. God, this is 2 fish. This hand is just so bad multi-way. But it's 2 fish. I can't say no to 2 fish. I just can't. Such a bad multi-way hand and definitely a losing call in theory, but I'm not going to say no to 2 fish. Sounds a bit interesting. I'm going to do this. And let's go like super polar today with our big blind 3 bets, guys. Well, we have 2 pair. Now we can juice this right up. Juice this right up. I'm going to go pretty expensive. I'm not going to make this cheap for you, my friend. 3x pot or check raise? What the hell? Yeah, it's in relation to the pot, mate, not your bet. That's how sizing works. Like this is 3x pot. It's not a multiple of my opponent's bet, because my opponent doesn't have a bet. And if they did, it would be entirely irrelevant. Are you planning on doing giveaways? No. Purely sales. The giveaway is the knowledge, Max. Come on. The giveaway is the knowledge. Shouldn't need to give anything else away. We've already given away £80. Anyone that buys a silver carat by making it £80 cheaper. And we've given away over £100 on the golden carat and included a free stat review. And we're sitting here giving away knowledge. And you want more giveaways, Max? More giveaways? Come on, Max. There's a limit, bro. Yeah? There's a limit. What is your Scottish accent if it's not Glaswegian? It is Glaswegian-ish, but it's posh Glaswegian. It's closer to Glaswegian than any other Scottish accent, but it's been internationalized / poshified so that you guys can understand me. And also, I grew up in like quite a rough part of Scotland, of the west of Scotland, a place called Paisley, just outside of there. And the accent there is like, alright, mate, Shane, it's like that. And if I spoke like that, I mean, I don't speak like that anyway in normal life. Even if I'm like in that part of the world, I still wouldn't speak like that now. But there are people that speak like that there. And you guys would have no chance of understanding a single thing that they say. Like, you'd have better chance of understanding a French person when you don't speak French than understanding someone from Paisley on a night out at 2 in the morning. You wrote a question a bit higher. Sorry, I missed it. I will scroll up. Sun Smith. Let's see. There's no more just library access. That's right. It's all passes now. That's correct, Sunsmith on Twitch. Because the silver carat is now permanent access to all those videos, plus all those courses. We don't want to like put time pressure on you. We just want you to chill, sign up to Poker Education, and go from there. I'm going to min open the small blind with 6-5 here, just try and get involved with this recreational-ish looking player. Didn't work. I could also limp, by the way. Both are fine. Queen 7 was a good value sizing. Well done. Good value hand. You identified you had the best hand and you raised for value. You denied a lot of equity. I had like 36% equity against your hand. You did very well to deny that. You're right. I suck. 100%. I suck. The idea with the passes is that you invest in your poker education. You pull a button. You push a button once, you know, and then that's you. That's you signed up. And now you've got to... You kind of owe it to yourself to make your way through that material and become a true poker player. You owe it to yourself at that point. You check ace 10 here against recreational, see what transpires. I think I'll head to showdown. I will hit the showdown in this spot. Were you offered a knighthood for your services to poker? Not yet. Maybe one day. Charles will look me up. He'll watch the stream and he'll be like, that's the chap. That's that carrot man chap. Half pot. What do you think? Gonna call with 6-7. 10-8. Unlucky. You picked up the shrapnel. That's what I call that. You hit the shrapnel on the river. Do I want to check here? I think I want to check here. Let's let you do some stuff. Okay, so you want to instantly check. Probably you're not in the mood to bet the turn. And you kind of just picked up some stuff. That said, this is a bit blood from a stone, to be honest. I just hope he has some stuff. No stuff. You're crushing 5-0 and winning at 10-0. That's how it goes, Spirit Music. And then you'll be break even at 25, right? It gets harder and harder. Let's play this Queen 8. Keep getting 3-bet by short stack recreationals today. They're coming for me, man. They're coming for me. You gonna show me? This one's not gonna show me. Splash pot time with kings. Snap limp. Snap limp under the gun. It's trap. Is this the one time we don't face an all-in? Look at my timing. I can't have a good hand. Did you see my timing? Someone jam. Oh my god, I'm going to go 5-way. Thank god. Yeah, there's no way I have a good hand. Look at that timing. I have 6s. Ooh, 6s close in the spot. Look at the 14 big blinds dead money. Very, very close in this spot. Curious. Now I deserve to run into aces after that spiel. Look at my timing, man. Jack once is fine. I mean, that's a bit scary as flops go, but warriors don't cash out. It's getting scarier, but still we don't cash out. We ask for the 3 of diamonds. The blue 3, guys. The blue 3 one time. That's okay, right? Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. I won't bet this one. You like the timing there, guys? Got him. Not that anyone ever notices your timing or pays attention to anything out with their own brain, but in principle. Wait, did we 3-bet this pre? What is happening here? I don't know. I'm just bluffing. I'm clearly bluffing. I don't know how I got here. I don't actually care. I think I may have 3-bet the guy. Or like he limped and no. Did he min raise and I ISO'd? What happened there, guys? Tell me what happened. I mean, I like my play. Whatever happened, I mean, clear 3-bet and then delayed C-bet spot. Great. But tell me how I got there, please. I'd like to know. Also, Peter Leakbuster found me that I 3-bet a lot from small blind versus cutoff and button. I do it because they have 70% plus fold to 3-bet. I 3-bet them with any 2 cards. Is it correct? No, probably not correct. Like, the thing is that I don't know what pool you're playing in where people fold. Okay, well, if they fold 70% to a 3-bet on average, you need to make sure that that stat you're looking at isn't just they fold when someone at the table has 3-bet. It has to be when they're actually the opener, right? Because I remember for a while there were certain sites that had it the other way and HUDs that had it the other way, and there were stats on PT4. So just make sure that that's the right stat, first of all. And second of all, are you sure? And then thirdly, like, Trash has a very losing EV at Equilibrium. And fold to 3-bet rates are quite high, actually, in Equilibrium. For high rate games, and yet it's still really losing to go ahead and 3-bet some of these hands. How about I make it 14 or 15 big blinds? How about I make it 15 big blinds with 6-3 warrior? This one I'll call. You know, you gotta know when to slow play your nutted jack high flush draw. We'll slow play the little nutted flush draw here. You know, we've got a huge hand, but we'll just slow play it. You're crushing 1NL if it existed, Michael Rover. I agree. If you're breaking even at 2NL, you're definitely crushing 1NL. Recommend you start with Silver Carrot, by the way. At those stakes. Silver Carrot is the thing for you. It is £80 cheaper than it was before. I'm just going to have to fold this spot. There's not really any 2 ways about it. There's nothing else we can do. You can't always be a warrior. I mean, you can be a warrior, and warriors know when to retreat. from battle as well. True warriors know when to retreat. Right? The weasel only retreats. Weasel's great at retreating. He's like, no thank you. I just I'd rather not. I'll pass on this one. That's the weasel. See if a razor wants to battle me. Bellow former run at once, coach. He doesn't mind me saying. He does want to battle me. He wins. Is it helmet? Is this helmet theory optimal? Or is it an exploit helmet? We are playing solid poker today, guys. We're actually playing, it's a good question. We are playing theoretically sound poker, mostly. We're pushing stuff a bit in that we're reverting to always bluffing and winning spots that are only sometimes bluffed in theory or mostly bluffed in theory. That's the main thing we're doing. We're driving up the bluffing threshold from like 70% to 100% in some spots. But we are playing a very normal theoretical game. There are many ways to build a normal theoretical game, by the way, that don't incur EV losses that are meaningful from one another. And that's the beauty of poker, that your baseline is not predetermined. You can craft the strategy in lots of different ways. I just don't think that they do. I don't think 70% spirit music is that unbalanced. I don't think that's that high a fold to 3-bet, generally speaking. Especially if it's the wrong stat that it's tracking. But like cutoff versus small blind 3-bet, you are meant to fold most, like more than half, way more than half of your range to it. So if they're overfolding a little bit, one, it does depend, as you say, on how well you're playing post flop. It depends on rake, and it depends on like how losing the hand is in the first place, right? Like there's a huge difference between 3-betting someone with ace-9 offsuit, which is losing small blind versus cutoff in theory, but not like buying loads, and then 3-betting 7-3 offsuit. Like it's very likely that ace-9 is profitable against many opponents and 7-3 is losing against those same opponents. So the biggest thing you're doing wrong conceptually there is treating all these random hands as if they're the same, or making a giant assumption that even the ones that are losing multiple big blinds of EV by 3-betting in game theory are now winning. I do not think 70% is enough of a fold to 3-bet to make that true. See the timing again, guys? Cannot have trips with that timing. Okay, he just does nothing. He doesn't want to fight. Warrior donk bets flop in certain spots. I'll be live with Shu tomorrow morning before we spin the wheel of styles once again, guys. I will be live with the one and only Shu. And we will be same timing, different hand. Look at this. Same timing, different hand, guys. Do I want to 3-bet this fish? Probably not, no. And we'll be live tomorrow, and she'll be doing more polar bear. Yeah, nice hand, bro. Nice hand. Definitely a very good hand. You did well. Thank you for telling me that you had like 2 bits of an okay hand that together made a good hand. Thank you for telling me. We get called here. I will check the turn. And I will fold to this bet. Right, let's drink some cold coffee. Jack 9 off action. I'm not proud of it, but I feel like I'm the weasel. You should be proud to be the weasel. Proud weasels unite. I think the weasel is a commendable style. Avoiding rake, fighting the corporations by not paying the rake, avoiding the silly spots. The weasel gets to the essence of what poker is truly about, which is hourly, knowing which spots generate goldmine EV and which ones don't. That is the essence of it. Right, multi-way pot here against a recreational. You need a leading range in this spot, otherwise this reg gets to check far too much of their range. You don't want that here. Not that you want to lead like range here or anything, but you want a leading range in this spot. So there's a few permutations here. I don't really want to get raised, and I can keep value betting. And I'm going to pick a sizing I don't think they're going to raise me with if they have an overpair. And I'll clear out some stuff that I'm vulnerable against, and I'll keep value betting against this guy, plus build for the 8 river where I've got the immortals. Immortal chariot nuts. That's what I'm going to do there. So that was a bit of a hybridy bet, but I think it was right. I just did not want kings to raise me in that spot, and if I block again or check, kings is going to realize that it's good a lot, and it's going to start blasting me. I do not want to get blasted by kings there because I don't really have any recourse. I could check raise actually. Ooh, I didn't think about that. I could have check raised the reg, but then I can't value bet against the fish, so it's not that good a line. See the way the cogs are turning though? This is the kind of stuff you want to think about. I go big polar, blind versus blind. Gonna go one BB. You want to call, and then I want to make top pair. And then I'm gonna go ahead and make it 4.8 BBs. Bone Crusher. How low is sevens? It's not low enough here with the 6 on board. It's nearly low enough. Is it now low enough? How quickly are you going to check? What are you going to do in the river? Tell me what you've got. What the hell have you got? Probably a bluff. Maybe like king queen. Maybe a 3. Maybe a flush draw. Do I mean, we're deep here. I guess I don't jam the flop. I guess I just call. What do you have? You just have a flush? What is this? Is this like some form of bot? What is this line? It's either king queen or a flush or just total air. We have nothing to do but call. Do we hero fold river here if he goes big? We're not folding against this. Is this just king queen or ace king? I think it says king actually. Could be a flush. Could be. It's so expensive to jam just to try and fold off a chop, and these players can get so sticky. It's tempting to shove. Could be a bad flush that's just freaked out as well. I guess it's like 10-9 of hearts a lot. Deuces, huh? Okay, thank you, I guess. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I'm sorry that didn't work for you. I'm sorry that I'm folding basically none of my range in that spot, but like, what do you expect to happen? What is it you think is going to go well for you there? I don't really know. How did Shu become the candidate for streaming? Few things. I'll take you back to the beginning of the story here. R84. I'll take you back to the beginning of the story. Shu's application was phenomenal for the Coaching Journey season 3. Shu is also a woman, and while that was not in any way a sufficient factor on its own, I do think it's cool to have a bit more of a female presence in poker. I don't think there's enough girls really playing the game. And yeah, it's a bit of a factor. Like, I want to do what I can to help put female poker players in the limelight a bit more. But mainly she got there on merit. Like, her application was just phenomenal. She was clearly very talented at the game, even though she's barely played. And yeah, she's just a very entertaining, charismatic person as well. She goes down very well with the chat, and she won the race to 25NL with an absolutely crushing win rate. So all of that has meant that we have continued post-series because people just like it. What can I say? People like it. I think this sizing now on turn is about right. 10-8 could be there in the offsuit form. I don't want to overbet this spot. But I don't want to go small in this spot either. I still have a big nut advantage. I'm still doing a lot of stuff here. I'm going to go like smaller, mergier, small blind versus under the gun here. Ace queen off is meh. It's good when that works. Do you feel like online poker will live for 20 more years or less? I don't know. I really don't know. I think it'll live in some form. Yeah. I plan to have retired by then and be just doing bridge stuff by then because it's my passion. It's kind of like the other women in my life is bridge, right? Poker's my wife. You could say that. It's okay, guys. They know about each other. Poker is my job. I love the game. I've played the game for a long time. I know a lot about the game. Bridge, I am working on playing for Scotland. That's me and my partner's goal. When I say partner, I mean bridge partner. It's our goal this year, next year. Hopefully going to be selected to represent Scotland on an international stage. That's what I'd like to do. I also work with under 21s in bridge. So I want to retire. You didn't really ask about me. You just asked about online poker. I just started talking about me because I'm a huge narcissist. But basically the point I'm making is I don't care, right? Because I've got this other thing that I'm transitioning into doing that I love doing. And I don't want to be in poker forever. I want to be in poker for another decade for sure. And then I want to be, retiring and stuff. Maybe selling Carrot Corner, maybe handing it down to my son. It depends if it's still making money, how profitable it is. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't really care. I want it to be around for like 10 or 15 years. That's a selfish answer. And so I've not thought about it too much. It's not been that relevant. Whether it's around in 20 or 30 years, it's not that relevant to me. Now, do I think objectively it's going to be around? I do think so, because I think sites will get better at policing like AI stuff as AI gets better. The technology to catch it and stuff and tell humans from AI will, I don't know, it'll be a race, right? It'll be a bit of a battle. If that's what you're concerned with, I get it. That part's going to be a battle. I think so. I think it'll still be around. What will be the integrity? What will be the high stakes action? That I don't know. Will there always be people grinding like 25, 50, 100 NL, working their way up the ladder, making some side income? Probably, yeah. Unless like bots just overrun poker clients and make it completely unviable for sites to operate. Does this become a bluff on River there? Maybe, but these players are just not really finding this sort of thing. Okay, please open. Big fish me. Yes, please. I'd like to fish you. That sounds rude. I mean, like out of the lake. Okay. Let's go polar bear style. Polar bear style. As Shu would say, I'm a polar bear. See Shu tomorrow morning. Getting our polar bear masks on. I can't wear this for long, guys, because it's toxic. It's actually toxic chemicals. I'm so glad the polar bear didn't win. While I was looking forward to ducking and weaving as the weasel today, I was kind of in that mood. I am glad it's the warrior and not the polar bear, because that mask smells like spray paint that went very, very wrong, that has the kind of chemicals in it that should be recalled. Amazon should recall all the polar bear masks that they've sent out if they all smell like that. Maybe it's just mine that smells like that. I don't know. Oh, a bit of downtime, guys. Pete just likes coaching newer players than old school ones, at least is what I noticed. I prefer coaching newer players to old school ones. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Old school ones have a load of bad habits. They're borderline unteachable sometimes. Not all of them, but some of them are completely unteachable because they have these horrendous habits ingrained from back in the day, and they do things to take a stand. How do you teach someone who takes lines to take a stand? Halfpot seems good for this spot. Custom sizing, making it up. Don't care. Okay, so what do you have now? Jacks, Queen Jack, Ace Queen. I lose to all these hands. Slow plays. What do you have that I beat? Not that much. I'm going to check turn and go for a bet check bet line here, actually. I do. It has loads of stuff that I beat, just not stuff I win a big pot from, right? So bet check bet's probably the best way to harvest from this sort of range. And now that there's just one bet for them to call, we can get a bit greedy again, and they're going to pay off 8s and 9s and 10s and ace 4 and 4 5, because this is how people play. Okay, not this time, but generally, this is how people play. So with King Queen, like, ask yourself, how many hands are there in Villain's range against which I want to win a stack or play a really big pot on a clean run out? And if the answer is there aren't all that many, on the Jack, what the Jack does is it makes 9s like very unlikely to call down and lose a stack now. It makes Queen Jack impossible as a worse hand, and it makes Jacks no longer exist as a worse hand. So betting the turn on a brick there, we just go bomb, 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 right? We just put it all in by the river. But on the Jack turn, you probably want to check King Queen and go for bet check bet. It allows people to turn the bottom of their range into a bluff, make a crying call with bad hands on river, and it avoids the whole shit of reopening against the range. It just got a bit less capped. So overall, I like that line a lot. I think it just makes the most sense. It's 3-bet 6s, open 8s, keep playing some cards. Here with you till 2 p.m. today, then it's a half-hour break, and then we are live without the delay as we flop a set of snowmans here with Cat and Carrot. Mr. Lamstock Sam is going to be in the house, the English cash game professional, and he may even have an object in his hands for another game of What Am I Holding? He may well do, guys. Polar Bear. This means bad reg, by the way. I don't know what this player's done to deserve this. Sorry if you're watching. You've done something, though. You must have done something. Overbet. Can you fix your helmet, please? What's wrong with my helmet? This is honestly the best angle I can really have it at. I don't really know how I can have it at a better angle for you guys. Like, it's really uncomfortable as it is. And if I try and fix it so it looks slightly better on your screen, it'll just be cutting into me more. Is that what you want? Is it all about you? Yeah? It's all about your viewer experience, not about my comfort level? Okay, sorry, I didn't realize that. Got you. By the way, guys, it's the Easter sale at Carrot Corner. That's why we're doing this. We're offering 20% off the Silver Carrot Pass. All 10 episodes of the Carrot Poker School, 1 hour long with feedback, homework at the end, and a feedback video. Make your way through our exam. Take the exam. Write down answers like you're in an exam. Set a timer. Ask your wife to be your invigilator and walk around the room with a notepad as you scribble down the answers. Then watch the exam feedback video. Move on to cash injection. 10 exploits to supercharge your win rate as fast as possible. Click the right button at the right time at the table with True EV and watch the Silver Carrot Library to supplement your Silver Carrot journey. Or, if it is time, and I'm not saying it's time, but if it is time to embark on a full poker education, you might want to check out our complete system because it's 10% off, which is a saving of like $150 to $200, maybe more. And you get a free database review, a personalized video made by database review expert, Carrot Corner coach James Shea, 100% free, sent to you, 30 minutes long. Boom. What is not to like about that? I'm only playing small seed bets today, guys, so I'm not allowed to big bet here. But this is a cool spot to turn your hand into like a hybrid. I love this hand for betting. I always bet this hand three-way. It generates so many good things by betting. Okay, I am calling with all these backdoors and glorious things going on for this lovely price. I don't know who you are. You might be recreational. You may have a bluff here, but because it's multi-way, I think you're less likely to. You may have ace 10, king 10 here. I block fours. You have no two-pair combos. That's a lovely turn. Just thinking out loud. I bet flop here as well, multi-way. People just aren't aggressive enough for me to want to check these hands with a lot of like latent potential. I guess we keep calling. We have position. We have absolute control. I think that this most likely at this point they have like ace 10 or a bluff here. Probably. We have two pair. We beat ace 10 now. We're going to go for value against a check on the river here. I think that's too likely a part of their range. What is this? Half pot? B75? Half pot? I definitely want to put some money in. I think something like this. Against this sizing, we'll just call. Are we going to raise against this sizing? I am going to get greedy. Nah, I'm not going to get greedy. I nearly got greedy. I should get greedy, actually. This is recreational. Someone at the door? No, it's just the builder. Sorry, guys, I was a bit put off there. I should have gone with my original read. I didn't realize they would merge a bad 10 on that river, but of course they're going to, right? I should have got greedy there and gone for a small raise. It's annoying to reopen that spot, and you feel like you don't really want to, but you should. That was a mistake. I was a bit distracted by all the commotion in the house. I should have raised the river. That was poor. That was poor poker. That's a recreational. It still just has ace 10 all the time. And I need to punish it when I hit two pair in the river. We need to punish it. Are you opening 2BB on the button because of fast fold format? Not really. I think people will just underreact. Like, they don't really do the right thing against it. They're not polarized enough with their 3 bets. They're not calling enough. If they do call enough, they play pretty badly after the flop. So I'm more just exploiting how pool. I guess it's an exploitative thing, but it's just what I've been doing for a while. Honestly, it's just not a big deal. It's not something you need to care about. I learned from Phil Gordon to raise and find out where I'm at. Well, there you go. That's why you're unteachable, Har. What can I say? That's why you're unteachable. I'm sorry to inform you that you're unteachable. Phil Gordon is probably unteachable too at this point. Sorry, Phil. There are enough Phils in poker. Do you ever feel like Phil Gordon was one Phil too many? Like, you can't get rid of Helmuth, you can't get rid of Ivy, and you can't get rid of Galfond. So you have to get rid of Gordon if you're going to get rid of a Phil. Who agrees? We could do the Phil challenge at some point where we spin the Phil wheel and see which one I play like. Hope it's I really hope it's Galfond or Ivy. You know? Really hope so. Who's your favourite Phil? Fill me in the comments. 11 big blinds. Can't do it. I should have raised the river there. That was so bad. He so clearly just still has top pair. Should have raised the river. Oh, that was so bad. It's so easy to just lose focus for a second and make a mistake. Like, I just click that, you know? I click it to like 3x, 2.5, 3x. Like, that's all I need to do. I can fold to a jam anyway. Like, it's just a clear value raise. They have a straight occasionally, like, but it's so rare. They have a set occasionally, but it's pretty rare. They have almost entirely top pair, and not raising against that range is kind of criminal, honestly. Even though that looks kind of scary, like, you need to. Pete, why did you turn your back on chess? You could be one of the few Scottish GMs. I'm honestly not very good at chess. I'm not a visual person. I am, well, I am in some ways, but I'm not good at visual spaces and calculating things visually. Geometry, I guess you could say. My brain isn't wired like that. So I'm way better at card games and analytical conceptual things than I am at chess, because chess has too much of a visual real world component to it. It's too similar to like DIY. I know it's not similar to DIY, but it's closer to DIY than bridge, because in bridge you just keep track of like concepts. In chess you need to keep track of spatial elements. And I sucked at tactics. Sucked at tactics in chess. Like, I was 1800 online, like 5minutechess.com at my peak, 18 something, and I probably had the tactics of like a 1550. Honestly. So chess, not the game for me. Wasted a lot of my time playing chess. When I say wasted, I did enjoy some of it, but it was like going away to some silly hotel and going into like a smelly room. Chess players stink a lot worse than bridge players. They smell really badly because they don't really have the social skills to avoid smelling really badly. The bridge players generally are a bit more like aware socially, you could say. It's a bit more like highbrow, so they care about just like reeking of BO. But chess players don't, so yeah, is what it is. Right, top two, let's check raise, getting a bunch of big blinds against this player. Don't need to go huge at this SPR at all. This is plenty. Getting our stacks up now, guys. Getting our stacks up here. See if we can get them up to 500 by 2 p.m. when we wrap up the stream today. Take another break around 1, I guess. We have 66 watching. What are you guys saying? Chat to me. Keep me entertained. I'm playing for hours for you guys. What do you think about the session so far? What do you think about the warrior? Warrior style is go. What are we saying about it? Apart from that blunder I made. In Denmark, you only get 20% rate back at most the different sites. Is online poker dead if you only get 20% rate back? No. Absolutely not. This is a load of shit. See, online poker being dead. Like, one, there are players that win without rate back. Like, you can win without rate back. Yes, it's more dead without rate back and it's harder and you'll make less money. But it doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you need to really want to do it even more for it to be the right choice. But I would argue that you really need to want to do it anyway for it to be the right choice, because it's so grueling and difficult. But this rhetoric about online poker being dead, it's just not true. Yes, we're in a worse spot than we were 10 years ago in many ways. We've lost a market leader that had a very fair program, and it had a good mix of recreationals and regulars. That's PokerStars. PokerStars circa 10, 15 years ago, you know, untouchable, like elite, amazing. PokerStars in 2011, when they bailed out everyone that lost money from Full Tilt, bought over Full Tilt, paid everyone their money back. Like, what a company. Like, honestly, that is just killing it, right? That's absolutely killing it. What went wrong? I don't know, man. I have no idea what went wrong at Stars, but it was tragic. Because to lose your market share to this is really sad, because this is a company that doesn't put regs first, as you guys know, and is more about making money, which all companies should try and do. But they have a very successful formula at GG where they do it very well. Their model works very well for them and they execute it very well. But we're now in a place where this is the monopoly, and we have Coin coming up, but like, you know, doesn't help your cause if people have to have crypto to buy into your site. I don't know if that's still the case, but it definitely doesn't help your cause. It's not a great look, to be honest. Outside of Basement Dweller Reddit feeds, it's not really a good look. Probably is a good look in those feeds though, right? On those subreddits. You know, the subreddits that are like the grubs on the bottom of your basement floorboards? Look, it's probably a good look there. He says in his battle helmet. Come at me, bro. Oh, Phil Lack. I forgot about Phil Lack. Yeah, of course. Phil Lack was a legend. Antonio Esfandiari. What a time to be alive, guys. What a time to be alive. 300 big blinds. King 7 suited. Let's go. Let's play a big pot. Or not. Running great. I mean, we're not getting paid though, are we? And we lost a couple of stacks earlier, so it's not as great as you would think. Check folding flop here. This is not the hand we're going to do anything with. We are a warrior, but we have some standards out of position in a 3-bet pot when we've gone big. That's a nice turn though. I'm playing block mainly here. Block or check. I'm going to go with block. I think it's going to be a more successful line against pool here. They're a bit scared deep as well. 10 BBs. Okay, so you have king, queen, king, jack, king, 10, 7s, 8s, 10s, hearts. I'm going to block river some sizing and then decide what to do. What sizing is right? B33? B33 is okay. Let's jam queens here. And benefits a bit from denial. I want to slow play aces and kings probably too on this node actually against an active reg, but not queens. I think we just jam queens. Pick up the extra EV. Ace king, okay. Yeah, I wonder if my river block was a bit big there, given the flop timing, because the timing weights the opponent a bit more to the king X region because they think a bit more about betting the pocket pair on the flop. Maybe I go B25 there. Slight improvement. Yeah, I think I like B25 there a bit better. But not a big deal. You played chess, Har, yeah? There was a guy that you could smell several meters away and you had to resign because of the smell. That's quite funny. Beaten by the smell. That's quite hilarious. Sorry if you were watching that stupid all-in clown fest there, guys. I decided not to bother. What happened here? Did we get cold called and this guy led the flop? Is that what happened? How am I in this hand? Did we 3-bet and he cold called the 3-bet? I don't know what happened. I'm going to raise though. I really like my hand against recreational here. I'm assuming this is recreational. He has a yellow tag, but I don't believe it. Or did he 3-bet and I called? Either way, I can raise the flop, right? It doesn't really matter. I prefer call though. If he's the aggressor, I think I prefer call. But there's a lot of turns that do kill some action there. My phone is telling me, my watch is telling me to stand up and stretch and reset. Why am I forgetting the pre-flop action? Right, let's make a point of not forgetting how we got into hands, guys. Ooh, aces. Let's call fives. Probably check calling this flop. This flop, apart from the queen, is incredibly harmless. We have backdoors with the 5 of hearts, improving the caliber of our 2 outs, or one of them. And here, in this texture, I'm going to play B40-ish style. Let's call. And check. This looks like a pretty clear check to me. Blocking ace-jack that we can get loads of value from. Or 8s, 9s and stuff, diamond, actually. No, maybe I prefer just bet fold against this pool. Yeah, maybe I just prefer bet fold. Check's okay here, but I think bet fold's actually an improvement. B10. Yeah, something like this seems good. Do we go for value on river? King, jack, queen, jack, 8s, etc. Some flushes. Queen. Aren't that many flushes. It'd be nice to have ace of diamonds here. Called again is not going to be super easy, actually. Just quite close. Maybe we go for value again on river, though. Queen, jack, jack, 10, 8s, 10s. Queens, you can have queens. Yeah, I think we should have value bet river. I think we should have value bet river. It's like these things are kind of thin in theory, but in practice they're actually just right. And sometimes my brain just like doesn't want to value bet thinly enough because I get stuck in this theory mode. And I'm the warrior today, and we need to be a bit more aggressive for value, guys. Come on. Like, yes, that is not great when you don't have the ace of diamonds there in theory. They can slow play some flushes. In practice, they're not likely to do that. They're not going to make your life difficult on river, and they are going to just like call you sometimes randomly with an underpair. Not often, but sometimes. They have some jack X too. And they have queens. I forgot all about queens. For some reason. I forgot all about queens when I played that spot. Let's keep up the pressure deep here, guys. Let's keep being the warrior. Keep making some big, juicy 3-bets. And we'll try and get some value a bit more exploitatively here. A bit more deviations. Come on. Wake up. Let's go. Let's go. No more excuses. No more missing value bets. And closing action. Let's crush. Let's crush more. And we're playing really well today, but we've made 2 mistakes where we've not gone for value enough. For whatever reason. I don't know why I do that. It's like some weird misfire that happens in my head. That's the only thing I would change today. Is those 2 hands. And let's not make that mistake again. Come on, let's go. Right, it's not good enough. Conviction. The reason I do that is that I just want to like chill and go to the end of the hand and not reopen and deal with like a headache sometimes. But it's not a headache. Like you just have the best hand a lot, and it doesn't matter about the Ace of Diamonds too much in practice because their range is far more capped in practice. I think. I think when they don't raise turn there, they have a flush sometimes, but I don't know that they're going to slow play a flush enough. I don't think so. I think I need to value bet both those spots. But oh well, it happens. Let's just pay a bit more attention now. Pete, do you think you could beat Phil Lack in a heads up match? Yes. Although heads up is kind of something I'm very ropey at. Certainly online, yes. Live, I'm probably like giving away loads of stuff. Well, that's kind of old now, though, right? He was one of the younger guys at the time. A bit older now, though. Let's call 4-3. Can't 3-bet every time. Can check raise against small here, and I will do so every time. Boom. Gonna pick the sizing that can have the 10 in it. And have the 10 in the spot. And a bunch of other stuff too. So wide mergy value range spot. If fill in 3 bets, we will call. Hit this straight and they check quickly. Against this timing, I will always bet. I'm going to go for half pot here. It's a little bit of an exploit. But I think if I start bombing the spot, it's insanely scary to a rig. And I am going to bet river for about B75 here. Yeah, I think B75 is good. Slightly less, so dial down here. No custom sizing. I think this is about right. Let's get the value bets going, guys. Come on. Are we going to just hit every flop? Is that how this is going to go? This is quite nice. Let's just start building. Size up a bit with this much equity against the fish. Just get a bit more money in there. And turn against the 55 VPIP and some showdown value. I think against the stack we want to check. They can also just like jam sometimes. I don't expect that to happen loads. This is probably a bot. See this big cold 4-bet? Like I'm not really bothered about jacks, but honestly, I should have thought about that because it could well be a bot. Yeah, I think I just take the... With this draw against this stack, I'm going to take the showdown route. Slash just bet check bet if I get there. We'll win sometimes here. They're not going to find all the mandatory bluffs they need to find. Queen 4, dodge the bullet there, guys. Yeah, this is probably this could well be a bot. See this big cold 4-bet? This is a bot thing to do. I'm not saying this is definitely a bot, but it could be. It definitely could be. And then you should just be shoving the jacks and saying like, screw you. Seriously, this cold 4-bet thing, it's like some sort of bot programming slash MDA stable line. I've noticed it everywhere. You can point your cursor to the pot and see the previous action. Oh my god, what a game changer. How long has that existed for? Gonna limp the queen jack off here? I think so. This could be bad. I don't know, man. I have no idea about splash pots. It can't be that bad though, right? I mean, we can't continue this hand to raise at all. But that's okay. I think check is best. That's mad. So it like tells you the action sequence. Wow. That's a big help actually. How bad is this spot to attack in? I think pretty bad. We check call flop here against the tight looking reg. If they check back turn, they're gonna have ace queen, ace king, nothing. Sixes, a 3. If I overbet, am I generating too much fold equity against their true range? Probably, but then I do block ace high and I don't care about that, so I'm gonna go for that sizing. Do you know what? We can actually win with queen high here. Sometimes. That said, and I don't think a pair is gonna fold. So if I had jack high, I would bet the river because there's more random jack high, queen high, king high in their ranges in a splash pot. But with the best queen high, we're actually winning here pretty often. Actually winning quite often. So warrior, bit of restraint. Do you think you could beat Phil Lack, Harry 84 in a heads up match? Do you think you could? What about you, huh? Backdoor, backdoor. Not really going to cut it against decent reg that's under the gun. think that's a decent reg. I imagine the purple named Austrian guy's decent. He's live, he's streaming, he's probably decent, right? He's not wearing a gladiatorial helmet though, I'll bet you that much. He's playing big bet on flop. What makes who a reg, huh? Who are you talking about? Zach says, that's why I can't play live tournaments. Last time I played, there was a deathly smelling man next to me. Couldn't stand it. Fastest bust out of my life. Yeah, it's pretty horrible, isn't it? At Bridge, you don't really get that. You don't really get that, which is nice. Bridge is a nice environment to sit around in. You meet nice people through Bridge. Like, I like the people I've met through Bridge, especially the kids I work with. They're all great. Like, I really like the Bridge community. There's some weirdos, of course, right? Because it's a strategy card game, and you know, there's some people who are a bit odd, but like in general, really, really nice crowd. Met some people through chess that I like as well, but chess has more of a, I don't know, man. Chess has more of a outcast of society like vibe to it in a way that's like not great. Like not in a cool rebellious way, but just in a sort of like deflated outcast of society way. Do you know what I mean about chess? And I don't think that about the online chess world, but I think if you play like a chess tournament and you sit in like a church hall somewhere, the people there kind of make you depressed. Like just to be around them, like they kind of reek not just like of body odor and sweat, but also of depression. And it's like you kind of feel like chess is in their life in some weird crutch way, that it's not like something they thrive off of or love, but they like need it or something. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Have you guys played chess? You know what vibe I'm kind of talking about here? Anyway, it's the Easter sale at Carrot Corner. This one, £80 cheaper than normal. This is the time to get it if you want to start your poker career. And if you want a complete system, if you know you're in for the long term, you know, study Carrot Corner for the next few years, which is how long it will probably take you to get through the golden content, especially because we're going to keep adding to it, then that is over £150, something. Don't quote me on that. Something like that. It's 10% off, and it's £150 off, £170 off, over $200 you're saving on that one. So yeah, those are the things that discounted. You also get a stat review with this one, by the way. James Shea will look at your database, Carrot Corner Pro, and record a personal video just for you, but only if you buy this Easter. So those are our current discounts at Carrot Corner. To celebrate, I am playing a different style, a different profile of player every day. Thursday, Friday, and Monday. Not Saturday, Sunday, because that's my time off. You're not gonna, business thing to do would be stream all weekend. That would be a great thing for me to do business wise. I just kind of drew a line there in my life where I said I would never work weekends. So I don't. Why am I having this battle with myself? I don't work weekends. Why am I even going there? God. EV, right? It's all poker players care about sometimes. So that's why I'm here. I'm streaming to celebrate Easter. Tomorrow, we may well be the Weasel. Votes for the Weasel, guys. We may well be the toxic polar bear mask that smells like you'll die if you wear it. Today we're the Warrior, in case you couldn't tell. And we may well be the Menace. May well be. May well not be. Small flop, see bet strategy. I'll tell you something, guys. You range bettors out there. It's pretty damn easy to implement. How many fish are in this hand? Not that many. Not gonna bother with Jack 8. Oh, is that what you meant by fix my helmet? Like it had to be... Oh, maybe I was wearing it a bit wrong. Oh, shit. This is a Warrior Limp, guys. Oh, we've got to go nuts now. We've got bomb pair. I'm going to bet one big blind for a few reasons. One, implied odds of improving. Two, denial. Three, being able to hybrid bluff certain turns like a 9. There we go. That's all you guys needed to know. Play range check here against an unknown 0 VPIP. And you have either 9s, 8s. Usually they have 9s or 8s, something like that. They have a 10 sometimes. They have a jack sometimes. They have 6s and stuff sometimes. I'm going to block turn. I could check turn here as well. This hand is like honestly not doing amazing on this 10 turn because they don't really have a jack when they check back the flop. And like not that often. And they don't... A bit river though. And they do have a 10 sometimes. So it's a polarizing turn, right? I will see bet this one. This is a hand I will always see bet. B75 here, I think. You could play giant over bet, but it's not really the spot for it. I'm just going to play this sizing. We make a tight player fold a non-ace. Okay, so they have an ace or a flush draw, and we blocked some of the flush draws, and I don't think they're going to fold an ace particularly often, so this is a give up, especially after this timing. Ace 7. Ace 4, yeah. We could try huge. It's not really the right opponent type. Like the tight recreational is like, they're annoying. They fold loads when they have nothing, but when they have something, they can be randomly sticky. Call 7s here, a little bit deeper than normal effective here. He's too scared to play 300 big blind warrior stack with me, but you know, that's part of the warrior as well, by the way, guys. You never rat hole. When you're the weasel, okay, we probably won't do this when we weasel stream because it involves too much admin of leaving tables, but when you're the weasel, you sit out and you rat hole and you just play 100 BB small ball. Ah, I got stuck in the warrior mask. Weasel and the warrior got a bit too intertwined there. I pulled 7s in that spot, honestly. So yeah. The people in chess are too miserable. Everyone hates each other. Yeah, it could be true. So what was I saying? Okay, so it's a very small 3-bet from this recreational-ish opponent. No hands. They bet big on flop. So this range is looking very strong. Japanese player that's done nothing so far. I don't know. That's 3-bet that size and c-bet flop this size. I'd say this is a very overpair heavy range. We want to mine this and pray for the 8. Or the king. But preferably the 8 because they have less redraw on the 8. Okay, so now that they've checked though, do I want to reopen this hand or check? I might actually just wait and bluff river here. If they have ace king, etc., I expect them to still check river quite often here. And the big flipsy bit has freaked me out a little bit, and I don't want to reopen and get check raised if they do still have a lot of ace queen plus. Although the turn check's a bit weird with those hands, it has to be said. And now I'm going to bluff river. And you don't need to go big in this spot because like you're literally, they've polarized on flop, right? They don't have many intermediate hands here. You are just trying to get them to fold something like ace king. That's really what's going on. And they do have ace queen. See, so they're so polar. You just don't want to like start betting turn there and like blasting. Like it's a nitty player. You just bet enough to fold them off the bottom of their range. That's really all you're doing. Oh, I should have gone mental on turn. Missing spots. That's another hybrid warrior spot where I should have gone 2x spot. Not 2x spot on that texture actually, but something. Filtered range over betting against me. Like, yeah, it's not the right player to call against, but it's the right hand to call, and calling this against a reg that's good is very reasonable. Very, very reasonable. I'm going to check this one. I'm not going to bet multi-way with everything, especially on the slightly higher boards like this, where the fold equity is a bit less useful. Hello, Craigie on Twitch says, I find Sundays noticeably softer fast fold pools. Yeah, absolutely. Makes sense, right? People have jobs throughout the week. Can we bluff the river with an 8? Do we ever want to do something like that? Do you know, they just have so much one pair here. They could have a jack. They kind of never have a flush. How much of the one pair are they going to call? You know, that fish might just peel the random one pair. I do feel like it could be a good river bluff spot, though. It could be. It could well be. Right, I think one more coffee break is in order before we continue here. Gonna go for... Definitely go for a bet on this flop always, guys, against pool, because if you check, they're just not going to bluff enough, and it's just cleaner if money goes in for you this way. I mean, check's not terrible, but these wet Broadway boards, I'd rather just value bet a bit thinner rather than like play a protected checking range. You just don't need to. I'm going to call, and I, like, what do they have here? They just have a draw. I have a lot of straights. They could have a queen as well, you know. They could have a boat. I don't expect them to just instant jam a boat, so I don't think they have a boat very often. We have a pair plus redraw. They can have draws and merges in their range. I don't know, man. This might be a fold. This might be a call. I wouldn't be shocked if they have like ace jack at the stack depth. This is the thing, and I do have some redraw. Although the VPIP is only 22. That might be a bit. I should have noticed the VPIP. Against 22, maybe it's a fold. I don't need much equity though, and I do have redraw, and I do have some random stuff. Like 37%, 38%, something like that. Against a straight, we're pretty dead, but we're pretty ahead of the draws. I think a queen's also a bit weird, although it will happen. Could be a fold. Could be a fold. It's close. Right, let's start with one big blind. Go from there. With random weaker players that get quite short stats, sometimes you just have to throw a bit of caution to the wind and say they can have a lot of random hands, a lot of merges that don't make a whole lot of sense. So when I am betting here, I'm not going to be playing giant bets on the 9. When it's small blind though, they're not going to have as much of that. You're going to have a bit more like density around 8s and 10s and 5s and things like that. Always betting my hand there. I'm just too good a bluff against the pool that doesn't raise enough in that spot. This is pretty interesting. The backdoors and stuff here. This play's probably about break even. This guy just has like an underpair always. Question is, do they decide to disbelieve me? I didn't factor in the branch, but they just don't believe me. But that could be a thing as well. This player's range is quite weak. Yeah, I think I like this. I think this is a bit winning actually. My initial assessment was break even, but I think a little bit winning is more accurate. See, if you just give your plays an assessment of how good you think they are, you'll go less insane. Like if you say, I think this is like close to break even, but a bit winning, well, now the expectation is it doesn't have to work every time. Whereas if you say, this is a raise, tricks your brain into thinking that it's like got to work or got to usually work or something like that. Oh, this is so gross, but like this hand at this stack depth is just kind of bad against 3 bets. Rabbit? Yeah, that would have been awkward. So ace 10 is absolute middle here. And I do not mind betting small. I don't mind checking a hand with like absolute lack of nuts in some showdown. Against 45 VPIP, I'm actually going to check this hand this time. They have a pair a lot less than a normal player. They have a lot more shit in their range, so they're going to bluffly turn a lot more. I dominate most of that shit, so betting doesn't really make sense. I don't think I can make them fold ace queen ace king. Ace jack maybe, but that's like one hand. So check and call river is going to be the game plan here. The jack is annoying, right, because it hits a bunch of their air. But I still think we should bluff catch. Definitely against half pot, we should bluff catch. We shouldn't raise, because if they have hit the jack, they're not going to fold. And otherwise, they're just bluffing this spot. They don't really have like 7s here. They just lead that on turn. But easy call at 3-1. Yeah, if they've not hit that card, they're just going to be bluffing there with like king queen, king 10, 8-9, like ace 8, whatever it is, right? So at 25% equity, you're going to want to call. Probably win half the time in that spot. Maybe just under half the time. But definitely around half the time, I would think. Which makes it wildly winning. Okay, let's take a break, guys. Make some more coffee. And we will be back with more warrior strat in just a minute here. It's hard, man. It's fatiguing playing for this long. I'm not used to it at all. Hope you guys are enjoying. My standard of play is like beginning to dip a little bit. I can feel like my focus going. It's talking and playing is a lot of work, but yeah. Let's bring Carrot Corner back on screen during the break and have a look at our products. Switch back over to this view. I'll take the helmet off for a minute. There's some products. There's some people that like our stuff. There's our passes. There's our Easter offers. That's the thing you're there for. Stat review. And save £80 on the Silver Carrot until Monday only. I'll leave that there. I'll be back for the final part of this session. And when this session is over around 2 p.m, I'll take a break. And then it will be straight into Cat and Carrot, me and Sam. Sam's going to do the lion's share of the analysis today because I'll be pretty tired after the stream and my run this morning and my tough life, you know, wearing this helmet all day. Yeah, Back in a minute. Better take the helmet off, actually. It's a bit weird. The builder's in at the moment. Imagine I just went through to the kitchen wearing this. Kind of embarrassing. Someone said true warriors don't take the helmet off, but what if I need that kind of awkward dynamic with the builder? Like, I think he already struggles to understand what I do for a living, and this is just going to confuse matters more. All right, I'll be back. Oh, sorry guys, how long was I muted since I got back? God, streaming is so hard. There's so many things to keep track of. I do apologize. I was just saying how it's really important that you open the button wide. Like it's really important to open button and cut off even, but mainly button like far wider than theory. Because you can see how people are just like folding all day to this one big blind, small flop c-bet strategy. They're just not doing anything. Men open here as well in small blind, way wider than charts suggest against someone that looks like they're just playing a fair fold strategy. Aces again. We're getting aces, but I don't think we've won a pot with aces yet. Or at least not a sizable pot. Again, going 1 BB. You can see that the pool overall, this is the sort of player that might raise, by the way, but the pool overall has been playing very straightforwardly against this. I do think they'll fold a good amount of ace-x on Jack 8-4. So Jack 8-4 is the kind of board where I'm going to be very aggressive on the ace turn. And the reason is that they are quite likely to fold ace-x on that board because a lot of ace-x on Jack 8-4 is like quite terrible looking, like ace-7, ace-3. It's the sort of board, okay, it's not like bone dry. It's not super wet either. It's the kind of board where people don't float all of their ace-x to one big blind, where if it was 8-4-4, they're probably calling ace-high to every combo of ace-high to a big blind, right? So the wetter the board and the more middling it is, the cleaner the ace out on the turn is for your range and the more aggressive you want to be on the ace turn, generally. One thing I like doing in poker is like tying these things together, making these kind of rules, maxims. Is audio working now? It should be fixed, right? I think I was just muted. I think that was the problem. My mic was just not lit up. So again, going to keep going with the one big blinds here, as Warrior being very aggressive later. Not only do they overfold, but they also don't protect the calling range much, and you can get an overfold on both flop and turn with the strategy. It kind of feels a bit dirty, right? To just always bet flop one big blind like this and do quite well, but you know, it's fine. This is a weird spot where by betting, I think I can get called by King Jack and Jack 10, and I can get folds from 6s and 3s and ace 8. So this is a hybrid bet slash bluff against the recreational. Normally I would give up river here. That card is very good for my range though. But recreational is folding to triples with a stack. It's not the best bluff spot. This guy obviously just got there with Jack 10 and that's fine. But yeah. We do get raised here with 8s. I'm not going to be playing a ton of 3-bet on this particular board. Villain's very polarized here. Hype train incoming on Twitch. I've not seen this in a while. Good old Twitch. We've got the snakes. The snake heads popping up. Villain checks. Interesting. I am going to play a reopen here. I don't think there's enough 9x raising flop checking turn here. I don't think a king is checking turn enough here. I think it's mostly like draws and stuff. And air. So betting turn, checking back river is going to be an okay line. This could be a king this time. Or ace 9. Okay, fair enough. That's the ace that I expect to be in there. And we do cost ourselves a little bit of a bet. But the hand benefits so much from denial, can get called by worse. I think villains under slow playing turn. I think reopening third pot there is the way to go against their range. Against that part of it specifically, it's better to check, but you know, that's how it goes. If you want to play well against a range, like sometimes you have to play badly against a certain hand that you don't know that they have. I'm going to go 3x here. I've got a recreational with 68 VPIP in the big blind. I think it's definitely important to react to these things and size accordingly. And their range is so wide here that our 10s are just much thicker for value than normal in this spot. Check back call river value bet again, I think is the line on the 8 turn. And this could be anything. We can't raise, we can't fold. Could be anything. Yeah. Could just be the most inappropriate hand for that action sequence ever, i.e. ace queen opposite, which should never bet the river. Way too high up, just utter spew bet. Gets called by all better, gets folds from, gets called by all better, gets folds from no better. Okay, audio's fixed. You guys are there, right? You're just kind of watching quietly. That's fine. You know, keep me company if you can. If there's anything you want to talk about, please talk to me because these streams are hard, man. especially when you're wearing the stupid plastic helmet. Definitely hard to keep the energy up. So keep talking, keep chatting away. Hope you're enjoying the Easter stream. I'll be back tomorrow as well with more play. Let me know what style you want to see tomorrow, by the way. Do you want to see the weasel? Do you want to see the polar bear? Do you want to see the menace? Again, open the button way wider than the charts tell you. Seriously. Students that do this just have a really crushing database from the button. They have a way more BB per 101 because every spot that goes button versus big blind is way better for you than it should be. This spot is way better for you than it should be. So many call flop full turns here that beat us, and they can call with king queen with just the king of spades or jack of spades or something. I'm gonna go with check on river, but barrel again is also interesting. I think we do run into an ace quite a bit now, but we also just win sometimes. Villain can for sure in this pool just have queen 10 with the queen of spades. So our turn bet gets called by worse and gets folds from better. There are quite a lot of hybrids out there in these spots, and we are finding them today as the warrior. So super happy with us finding the hybrids. Okay, warrior check raise to 13 BBs. Go. Let's go. Plenty of these check raise. What am I talking about? 3-bet bluff, I mean. God. On coin, you can buy in with bank transfer, but only cash out in crypto. See, this is the problem. Like, if the competitor, if people are unhappy about the monopoly site, and the competitor to the monopoly site will only give you money in crypto, like, you can see why we're in a bit of a sticky predicament, right? Nothing against Coin Poker. I'm sure they are doing a lot of good things too. I don't know, but like, it's just not a good state of affairs. It's kind of an embarrassment for the industry, if you ask me, that we're in a situation like that. It looks really bad from the outside. Like, it's such a shady game that, like, on one of the main sites in the world, you can only buy out in crypto. Like, it's just, I'm sure there are reasons for it. It's hard to get things through, like, legislatively and stuff. I get it, but it's not a great place, right? You can see why poker's been struggling a bit of late. What is this? Probably just a super strong range for recreational. We are deep here, but it's not. I don't think we can just mine at 20 big blind investment against this range. Like, don't be fooled by the high VPIP there, right? 41 is a fish VPIP. It's not like an aggro battling reg. Look at the sizing as well. It's like a fish sizing. It's probably a fish. I'm gonna check the turn here and play a little bit of trappy warrior style. If I was the menace, by the way, I'm just betting that turn all the time. But aces, no diamond is such a great check here. Aces, diamond is as well, actually, if not a better one. And my value region being a jack and 8, something like that. Going to be reopening pot here mostly, I think. Could reopen overbet in this spot as well, but quad 8s is still a thing in their range, like it does exist here. King 8 suited, King 8 off against min from that position? Probably not. Queen 8 suited, there's a handful of 8x. Not as many against hijack as if we were button. Like, keeping track of these things is important as well when you're hand reading, building a picture in your subconscious of what they've got. What's going on with my YouTube chat? Because it actually just been quiet for ages, or is like something glitching here on YouTube? I think you guys are just being quiet. The bottom is set. I am going to check raise. Just because villain bets big, by the way, like if we have like 10-9 here, same thing, 6-8. Just because they bet big, it doesn't mean we can't have a check raise range. We can absolutely have a check raise range. 8-9 might not even open from under the gun, by the way. Tens has never taken this flop action sequence, so we have a very nutted situation here. But that said, there's not really a need to bet giant at this SPR. Like, this is fine. Pretty scary spot for villain. Pretty scary spot. Start with one BB. See where we go. Under the gun here. Pretty scary spot. Fine spot to bluff. I meant to have the spade. There's a few things going on in this situation. King 9, Jack 9. Not like loads of 2-pair. I'm going to go for slight overbet on these textures as I've talked about before. That's going to be my sizing. Folds from better hands include 6s. Calls from worse hands include ace, queen of spades. You can see how this is going. Do I want to bluff river? I'm going to go with yes. And I'm going to go for about 2x pot here. Going to play a lot of check on this particular board. Got him. Warrior gets one through. Warrior. Warrior. Warrior, bro. Yeah, bro. What? Hello? Hello, strategist. Yeah, no, what do you mean that's not a good way to sell silver and carat gold passes? What do you mean they're not taking me seriously? Okay, focus on the spot, Pete. I'm going to bluff here for third pot. And fold. Okay, seems alright. Could also check turn. Could check turn, could third pot turn. We're being the warrior. Let's attack. Jack 7. Let's call this time. Just throwing in a call every once in a while in case they're watching the stream. Just every once in a while, then we can be aggressive on flop. Recreational under the gun might just like flat jacks when they shouldn't. I think we'll pass on the cold 4-bet spot. Don't think it's great. And do we want to play smaller merge sizing here? I think so generally, yep. I'm going to be raising a bunch of like queen 10, king 10 and stuff. Absolutely. It's funny, I asked Shu last week on stream, was like, tell us about the polar bear, and she's like, I check with the nuts. I was like, no, you don't really check with the nuts. At least not in position. Girl's obsessed with checking with the nuts. It does my head in. It actually tilts me like no end. It makes me quite angry actually when she checks with the nuts. Because it's so like automated. It's like I must deceive my opponent, and like that's present. That looks present in a lot of students' games, but it's pretty bad. What do you think about the helmet? Do you think it makes me less credible as a coach? Or more credible? What's your view, guys? This guy is like the 8 VPIP. I'm still going to bet one big blind because what I lose in not enough pot growth, I make back in getting randomly spew raised by absolutely nothing. Such a quick flop call, but nevertheless, we're going to overbet here. That is a bolt, and that bluff got through. Life is good as the warrior. Oh boy, this is going to be big. But how big? But how big? I think like 50 something. Something like this. Something like this, guys. What? What do you have? Like 10-7? Is this the same hand? It's either the same hand or he has like 7s through them or just absolutely coolering a fish here. Let's see. 10-3. Unfortunate for you. Afraid 10-3 is no good. 10-3 is no good, guys. Warrior! Oh, there's Dean eggs. I was enjoying winning that pot until that happened. Daniel's just come and ruined it. Look, he's holding my cards. Get your own cards, Daniel. That wasn't even your hand. Get out of here. God. Certainly got our stacks up now. 4-4-9 big blinds. Should I stop doing this voice? I haven't seen the Kings fold. Was it a Kristen Foxen fold? Was it another hand Kristen Foxen played that everyone hated? Because that happened like a couple of years ago, right? She played that hand with the where she bluffed like a kind of fish or semi-recreational player. What was it? In a spot where like they were fairly short in a tournament and it looked kind of insane. But actually the hand wasn't that bad. I reviewed it and I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was actually quite cool and very believable. But she was hated on anyway, right? And this one, was it her? Or was it someone else? I'm so out the loop, guys. I need to consume more poker content. I should go around Twitter and like post and stuff. I do post, then I just ignore everyone else. Don't know if that's the best social media strategy. I need to look at that hand. We should review it on stream. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. I'll find the hand and get it ready and stuff, and we can review it tomorrow. I think 9-4 is a fold against us. Yeah, you just know that fish is getting cooler there, right? When they 3-bet the river, it's just like, okay, you've induced me with your little block bet. Now you're gonna have to shove for value. Should they shove 10-3 against that sizing? Probably, because they still beat like 7s full. I think it is an uber cooler. The ace-10 is quite a, not a sizable part of my range with everything being blocked, but it's still a part, right? It's still a part. Even less credible says eggs aren't real. God, I'm really screwing up the business strategy then, right? But the warrior strategy is pretty credible. You guys should at least be enjoying how effective this is. It's clearly going well. Look at the stacks, guys. Look at the stacks. Okay, 3-bet ace-7, king 7-3, easy bet spot, just too many good things happen. I actually like the style against this pool. I think the warrior is a phenomenal style for like low stakes, like 100 NL, by the way. For what it's worth, I think this is a fantastic style for this pool. It's very, it's not easy, but it's not that difficult a style. Like the warrior's not the, okay, it can be hard. There can be some spots where you really have to like dig deep to find the bluff, like find the heart and make the bluff. Do I have the nut straight on the 9? No, I just have a gutter. This mask is going to fall off. Helmet. I can just fold here, right? I think I can just fold here. There's going to be pretty strong range on this board. Like, it shouldn't be that strong, but it will be. It should be polar, but there's just so many value combos there that people are just going to be naturally really weighted towards value because it's hard to bluff enough because you have to bluff more to compensate in spots like that. Do your opening ranges change at all from the different styles? No, not really. Like, I don't want to, I mean, yes, in a sense, like, I'll make more break-even opens when I'm, like, playing a warrior style because I'm trying to, like, fight and get involved or whatever, but no, not really. Preflop's kind of a done deal. Okay, I'll 4-bet and 3-bet more, maybe. The opening ranges are fairly static. Like, if I'm playing the Weasel, I'm still opening, you know, wider on the button than the chart says because the Weasel's all about these small edges anyway. Don't want to turn them down. Good question, though. Good question. It was Foxen? Yeah, okay. I don't watch much tournament poker. I don't watch much poker at all. You know, this is just my job. I do this to run my company. I don't really. Ooh, look at this spot. 11 big blinds with the queens. This is a juicy spot. Come on, chop block. Let's go. Come on, my friend. It was Foxen. Yeah. I mean, she's a good player. If she folded kings, she's probably got a good reason for it. That might mean it might still be bad, but the thing is, I bet you it's not as bad. Like, if it's bad, the thing is, right? These discussions happen on Poker X and social media where Reddit comment sections, you name it, where people are like, it's so polarized, right? Like, it's either terrible or it's genius. It could just be that, like, it's a crappy spot for kings and it's really close between, like, taking a 0 EV investment and a 0 EV fold and her edge on the table. Like, by the way, what's her edge on that table? I haven't watched the hand, but somebody tell me right now, what is her edge on that table? Because if it was in her mind a close spot and she has an edge on that table and there's still a lot of play, she shouldn't take that spot. But if it's a no edge spot and it's a plus chip EV, if it's a no edge table and it's a plus chip EV spot, you might take that spot, right? You will take that spot. So whether you, in a tournament especially, whether you take a spot that is close enough to 0 chip EV to not matter that much in terms of chips should depend on your edge in the spots that are going to follow, right? Largely. Not a tournament player, but this is just fact. So if she's playing a tournament with a really cool ladder, she's like final table. I don't know the context, so correct me. But if she's like final table, final 2 tables, fairly deep still, big edge on the field, she might even make a fold in a plus EV spot where she thinks it's not plus EV enough to make it worth taking. This could so easily be the case. I'm going to bet a big blind on the turn here. I am playing warrior style. Yes. 10-3 suited should have been folded pre-flop. You see the trouble you get in when you don't stick to charts, guys? Get crushed by the warrior. It's funny when I play with my 7-year-old nephew. I think he's 7 now. All of his games he wants to make up are like, you have to speak in this voice. So like you always have to be like, I will crush you. always has to be like that. I think I'm like doing that voice now today for the warrior style. All right, we have a fish, ladies and gentlemen, limping the button here. We have the Jack 8. And we're hoping to get a free flopsy. We're going to get a free flopsy with the Jack 8. We're going to let him little clanty 3-bet here in these positions against Alex. Little clanty one. Just clantying it up here slightly. I've done a lot of bullying in my lifetime. I call it bullying. I've done a lot of bullying in my lifetime. Clanty rap, anyone? Let's check the fish limper, see what they want to do first. And do we want to wait around here? Yes, I think we'll wait around here. Jonathan has joined the fray, and we'd very much like Jonathan to play his range transparently on the turn and just tell us what he has. Jonathan Little, ladies and gentlemen. It's probably not Jonathan Little. Probably not. Okay. Oops, I should have probably bet there. It was shaping up to be a good enough pile. Guys, range is like 9s, queens, etc. Alex has an ace almost never. Best bet, man. I don't think it's a great spot. I don't really care. It's very close. Like 9s, queens. 9s might even call me at some frequency here. Do you know that? Yeah, okay, it's going to get through that time. I did try and bet I should have bet the turn, and I did try and bet the river, but somehow it just didn't go through in time. It's so stupid. Oh well. Right. Right, I didn't mean to check flop either. I was distracted, guys. I'm flagging. I'm running out of steam here, guys. I'm running out of steam. Let's check again on that turn. Should have bet flop there. Definitely bet flop this time. Focus, Pete. You got 20 minutes left to play warrior. Come on, at least do it properly. I was so bad on the right-hand table there. I should have bet turn. It's a great spot for betting turn. River is meh. Because the guy will randomly call you with 9 sometimes, but... Okay, we'll just call this. So usually lose, sometimes win. That's too thin, surely. Is it? It's too thin, guys. On the triple Broadway 3 flush, I think Queen Jack is 1 big blind at push. Not 1.5 big blinds. Polarization mistake. Never fold to these lines, by the way. They can just be anything. They can be random shit. Is an ICM decision why she folded kings? Well, the thing is, like, ICM is just one other factor, right? Nothing's purely an ICM decision. ICM comes into it when Chippy V is close. Like, if Chippy V is not close, okay, there are extreme ICM spots, sure, when you're laddering, but like, and I'm not a tournament expert, so correct me if I say something you think is wrong, but, you know, you need to weigh up how close it is in Chippy V first, just to like frame where you're at in the hand, and then you can start talking about ICM and all of these things. I'm going to still check this board. It's just too egregious to range bet this board. I have a few standards. Not many when I'm playing warrior, but I have a few standards. I have a few. What about this, though? How's that for warrior? And this makes sense, right? Because I've range checked flop. Oh, he's got it. Okay. I've range checked. I have an open ender, though. Let's slow down a little bit here. Okay, so implieds are very minimal. It's very unlikely that I'm dead, although it's not impossible. I think this is probably just a fold. I think the implied odds are quite bad here. On a 3 or an 8, I mean, an 8, they're just nothing, right? It's just bad. Like, I can just be dead. It's just a clear fold. There's nothing else to say. But yeah, like, if you think about it, I check back flop with range pretty much. And I can have an overpair. And when they check a second time, mostly they're not protected. I think building 2x pot in that spot is very reasonable against pool, if not even reasonable in theory. It's good. Labels, I don't have a command for that side, just sorry, but basically they're all over the place. These greeny blue ones are like tight non-reg type players, and yellow is reg and purple is some sort of station, like someone that's stationed before, I think. Yellow means red. Rectus gets yellow because he just looks like a normal reg. Like, that's it. You're just like a competent-ish reg, you get yellow. Incompetent regs get a different color. Green is like more leaderboardy, grinder-esque type player. Like, this player, I think, is just yellow, I think. I'm very lax with my tags, though. I should do better. If I was playing full time or something, like I'd have a very regimented tagging system for sure. I'm gonna bet here and look to do a bunch of warrior stuff on turns. This player calls relatively quickly. It's unlikely to be eights with the sizing. It could be an ace. It could be like nines, tens, 8-7. Could be sixes or something. It's possible. Ace jack, things like this. Bet check bet's probably the right way to bluff in this spot, so I'm just going to do that. Because then we get them to bet all their ace jack, ace queen, nutty stuff here, and they check back nines. They just have a very transparent time against a check here in this spot. So bet check bet's a nice way to aggress in these situations. There we go with the cold 4-bets again. I feel like this is super common. Like if this ends up being a bluff, looks like a fish actually, so it might not be. But if this ends up being a reg, this is like an MDA reg. They get the red tag. UK regs get that by default because in the UK we're just insane. We just want to fight all the time in poker. Not in life. We're very polite, but we have a lot of pent up rage because we're so polite in public. So we have to take it out of the poker table with aggressive warrior strategies. You ever noticed how UK players are just queens more aggressive? Ace king. Okay. All right, we're gonna go 3-way here. 4-way here. What did I have? The nuts, right? Yeah, I had the nuts. The 8 of diamonds is coming. Doesn't need to be the 8 of diamonds, but any 8's coming. 8 of spades, yeah. Thought so. Thought so. That's an algorithm, by the way, guys. How do I know the 8 of spades is coming there? Algorithm. It's to make... Basically, it's calculated that the ace king guys won. Then it's like, how can we make more money? What can we do? Well, we can frustrate this guy that folded 10-9, who we know is still rabbit hunting and watching the hand, by making his straight get there in the river. Not even his flush, but his straight. You know? I'm kind of joking here. Kind of not. Who knows? Who knows what algorithms exist behind the scenes? There are more unhinged conspiracy theories than that in the poker world. Could be. Could be. Probably not. Maybe I'm just psychic. How many times have I predicted something that's been wrong today? You could ask yourself that. Okay, this guy is the ace king guy, the beneficiary of the last hand. Looks kind of insane. Hot, huh? Hot. You have a 56 VPIP. I'm just going to call you down, probably. We'll see what you do. But I may well call you down and hope you don't have 4s. And I will check call river here against this player. No bluff this time. Oh, because they had something. Got you. Got you. That's why there was no bluff in the 56 VPIP. What can you do? Don't fold, guys. See, when don't worry about your hand. When you have a player like that that's mental and has 56 VPIP and is potting the flop and you have a 5-out redraw pair, just call and then just call the next 2 streets as well. And just live with it. Like sometimes you'll lose, but just live with it. Like seriously. There's no point caring about these spots. Being worried about the EV there. Like it's just always going to be positive to not fold once you started putting money into the pot against that sort of player. Don't fold. Don't worry about your absolute hand strength too much when they're button and they've got 56 VPIP. They can have like 10 deuce offsuit. Well, sevens. What do we want to do? We're going polar on turn today. That's our general approach. However, this is a spot where I really like a half pot bet because they have a 6 a lot. They have an ace sometimes too. And they have king high a lot and overcards and stuff that'll fold. They click it back. They probably have an ace here, but the implied odds on a 7 are huge and they might not have an ace. So I'm going to call. Implied odds on a 7 are very, very good. I mean, they might have a boat sometimes, so like maybe they're not that good. Okay, this is almost certainly an ace, but I'm still not going to fold because at these pot odds, you just don't fold because it's a random fish that could just have a 6 or bluff. Sometimes. Not very often, but enough that I'm not going to fold when I need like 16% equity, 14% equity, whatever. Like, I'm not going to be folding. I'm usually going to lose. That's okay. That is fine. Would you ever fold kings in a cash game pre-flop? I have done many times. Many times across my career. There are times when you just know someone has aces like 90%. And if that's the case, you got to fold kings. It's just a hand, guys. It's just another hand. It's still about equity at the end of the day. It doesn't stop being about equity because you have 2 kings. So let's not blind ourselves. We still have to assess equity in EV. Grade 1, Lecture 1. Carrot Poker School, Silver Carrot, £80 off for Easter. Get it before Monday, £80 off. Golden Carrot, free stat review from database expert reviewer James Shea. included, plus about $200 discount on the Golden Carrot Pass. I spilled coffee all over my trousers. I promise you it's coffee. Not all over, that was an exaggeration, but I've not been able to drink the coffee because of the helmet, and I'm holding it precariously in one hand. So let's just take a minute to drink some coffee here, guys. Let's actually just take... No, we're not going to take the helmet off. We don't do that. That would be to sell out. But what we will do is sit out for a minute and drink some coffee. Again, guys, I'm playing 100 Russian Cash. That's what I always play when I'm on stream because I'm super relaxed. I don't care about it, and it's enough of a common stake that I think it's useful. I can't play 25 NL. I just like... I care so... It's not that I care about the money at 100, but at least it's like something to care about. Whereas if I play 25 NL, I only do that rarely because I find it super draining and boring. And the reason I don't play higher is just that if I care properly about it, I don't want to focus as much on the content and being hilariously entertaining and streaming and stuff like that. That's why I play the stick. Sometimes people think that I'm stuck at 100 NL. They think that I'm a full-time poker player that can't get past 100 NL. That's like kind of common misconception about me. I'm not a poker player. I'm a, as you can tell, coach, training site owner, streamer, Roman gladiator. But people, because I always play at the stake, it does send a message sometimes that this is just a stake I play. So I think I probably should build some, I should bring you some 200, 500 content. I think I should. I think we should battle people at 500 at some point. We should probably do it. Different vibe of stream though. I'll be a lot more like dialed in. Because I can play my B- game and win comfortably after raking this pool, in my opinion, and the opinion of my poker tracker graph. But could I do that at 500? No. I would have to really dial in. So it'd be slightly more serious, but we could do it. Coffee. Yeah, coffee. This is difficult. Let's just do this for a minute. Just taking a quick breather here, guys. I'll play for another 5-10 minutes and then wrap up the stream. Don't go anywhere, though. Go have your lunch and come back. Have your breakfast and come back, because we have Cat and Carrot coming at you this afternoon in 40 minutes' time. I'll be live with English Cash Game Professional Sam, and we will be reviewing the game of Andrew, a Discord member who I've actually coached in the past and who has Golden Carrot. Max Radio says, what ratio of study play would you suggest for someone who is a winning player at NL25 and has played for 5 years? I would recommend a study play ratio of 60-40 play to study. For that sort of player. I actually just made content like this and building the Bronze Carrot library as I was telling you about. That's going to be our free lead magnet tier, and it has a video all about the 4 phases of a poker career, which are, ladies and gentlemen, the weasel. No, they're not. They're player types. The 4 phases of the poker career are the sponge, where you absorb a lot of information, but you're kind of flailing about and you're kind of don't know what you're doing. There's a lot of holes in your game. Get it, sponge? Second phase is the thinker. You're overladen with thoughts. You know lots of stuff. You've taken Carrot Poker School, grade 1, maybe a bit of grade 2. You just can't quite apply it at the tables yet. It's a jumbled mess. You freeze. You tilt because you're more confused than you feel you should be. You feel like you're always underperforming. That's the thinker. Phase 3 is the athlete. You're putting in loads of volume. You're winning now. Things are automatic. You can see when I'm playing, a lot of stuff comes to me naturally, right? That's because I played poker for a very long time. And a lot of stuff is subconscious competence. It's just like click, click, click. The athlete's very much like that. And then you have the expert, who is every bit as good as the athlete, better at the tables, and just understands way more and studies advanced shit and can apply it really quickly. Those are the 4 phases of a poker career. And if you are currently in the sponge phase, that's okay. By the way, there's a phase called the pre-sponge, which is where like you don't know anything because you've just watched like YouTube videos over the years and talked to your buddy. And for some reason, you think you deserve to win. Like you think you should just like randomly win this year for no reason. You've never got a proper poker education. And that sucks. So, you know, go into the sponge phase, embrace it, realize that you've got to learn. Don't just expect to win for no reason. Nurgle Pete 885. Lately, I run into these high VPIP aggros whilst running incredibly cold. I call them down a few times. I get anything, but those are, of course, the times they have it. Yeah. So what really good aggro players do is that they pick you apart when your range is weak. And then when you play back at them or reach a certain point in the hand where you've gone past a certain investment threshold, they know that you have it and they back off. And that's why when you call them down in big pots where you call like a triple barrel deep, or they've, you know, you've check raised them on the turn and they've 3-bet you all in. That's why in those spots they always have it, because they know that you're not messing about. You're waiting for a hand to quote unquote take a stand and they know when you're doing that. However, if you call them down in a spot where your range is weak and they will be attacking you and it looks like you'd be folding a lot, that's great. And if you lose in that spot, then you are just running into it a bit. That's how I would make sense of that. That's how I would make sense of that. Is that scarier like that? If the mask is like, I feel like that's a bit more human. Like when it's like there, it just hides my face. It's a bit scarier, right? I don't know. Oh, forgetting to drink this coffee. It's like so cold. Yeah, 40 minutes time. We're here with Sam, continuing the Easter festivities. But hey, let's play a little bit more before that happens. We've got 9 minutes left of the stream, guys. So let's make some fireworks happen. Let's try and get this stack to 500, this one to 300. I think that's a good goal. Let's go. Should have 2.5x with these blinds. Blunder already. What you doing, Pete? Get a grip of yourself, man. The EV you've just hemorrhaged away. It's true. I hemorrhaged away EV there. I got away with it this time because I had nothing, but I hemorrhaged EV. Don't believe me? Fine, it's true, I did. I promise you I hemorrhaged EV there. Maybe like 4 cents. It all adds up. Don't throw away 4 cents, guys. It's probably more than 4 cents, actually. Honestly. This is the best time to get the golden carrot because you get the database review, guys. That is our offer this Easter. We've gone for 10% off and the database review. Okay. Big blind. See what you'd like to do. Should we play some poker? I could 3-bet you on the flop here. Oh, I'm so 2x, 3xing this turn. We're deep. I'm going to 2.5x. 12, 16. 16 and a half. Yes, let's bring the full stack into play. 2x pot, 3x pot, all in on river. Warrior. What a spot for it. What a hand for it. I'm 15 buy-ins under EV this week. How do I stop losing my mind? Great question, Molly. Best way to stop losing your mind when you are 15 buy-ins under all in EV. Let me just 3-bet this guy with a mergy range because he's a fish, and we'll just play a pot with ace jack. This is really light, but screw it. Let's check flop. Quickly. No time to think. What are you going to do? Okay. You have worse jack. You have pocket pair. I bet something on turn that allows me to shove river. Let's go. Let's go. That's unfortunate you don't have anything. Sorry, Molly. So 15 buy-ins under EV this week. So first thing to realize is that there will be many, 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 many weeks like this in your poker career. Check raise big this time, guys. Not always leading. Okay. So they're going to underraise if I bet small. They're going to underbluff if I check. So that leaves bet big. If I overbet, they're going to overfold. So that leaves overbet and hope they have a 5. That's not enough of their range. Or just big bet. So it has to just be big bet by process of elimination. What can you do, guys? Sometimes you just land on the right line by process of elimination. There'll be many, many weeks like this, Molly. Many weeks. And while that isn't enough to tell your subconscious to stop caring, okay, you win. What you need to appreciate is that the more you reduce it to absurdity, the more you make it seem absurd to yourself to care, the less you'll care, right? So it would be so detrimental and silly to care in Scotland every time it rained. It would be really terrible to care about it because it rains all the time. We have to play this hand. It's Jack 9 of clubs. It's the rule for the challenge. Guy needs to bluff by now. This is an abominable check down. Abominable. Abominable. And so, like, it is actually rationally speaking absurd to care about a losing week, given how many of them there are going to be and how EV patterns are going to work in the long term. There's going to be many times when you are that much under all in EV. It's going to happen. It's hard to get the emotional brain not to care about it. But go to primedope.com, generate a sample for like 200,000 hands, 300, 400,000 hands, whatever you think is like kind of a big sample. And look at all the times that a winning graph has a 15 buy-in downswing. You're not looking at all NAV when you do this, but you are just looking at variance in general. Can I value bet the river? I think not. I definitely don't think so. close though. And that'll put it into perspective for you. It's just one big marathon, right? It's one big giant race, and you need to zoom out and you need to just get to the next week. Another thing, so what I'd recommend doing is look at the hyper long term and then look at the hyper short term. Those are the things you really want to be focusing on. Hyper long term, hyper short term. Hyper short term is all about like, how can I play my A game in the next session? Like, all I care about is playing my A game in the next session. Let me go into the session and try and do that. Hyper long term is about looking at the next 2 years and being like, how much will I care about this 15 buy and all-in EV underperforming stretch in 2 years? The next session you shouldn't care about it, because all that matters is the cards in front of you. And in over the major long term, you shouldn't care about it either, because it just won't matter to you. It just simply won't. What matters to you is the medium term. The medium term is bullshit. It's an illusion. It doesn't actually matter. It shouldn't actually matter to anyone. It shouldn't. But it does matter to people. Got him. It's some sort of rodent player, as you can see. The medium term is where all the bullshit happens. Because the medium term in poker, you can't control it, because you can't perform well over the medium term, because it's just only you in your session today. And that's currently all you can do, is perform well today. And over the medium term, like, variance also hasn't converged. So it's stupid to look at it from a, not stupid, but it's misguided to look at it from a results standpoint. Here we have the classic Forex. Oh, yes, he got caught. Watch this, guys. This guy's folding. Watch this. This is the over bluffing. Okay, not this time. I was wrong. I was very wrong. He had kings. That's not an MDA reg, though. If it was an MDA reg, it would be different. Look, I got there again. Same thing that happened earlier, right? Where we fold, these two guys get all in, and I would have won. Let's count how many times that happens. Just saying. Small overbet spot, not giant overbet spot. You've seen the giant overbet in operation today. This is the spot for the small overbet. Pete, what would your poker elo be? I think, like, honestly, I think, like, people might think I'm being too full of myself if I say that, but I do think so. Hold on. This guy just has it. We're just folding this dead hand with no redraw. He doesn't just have it. You can be bluffing too, but this is not the right hand to call with. We're not blocking the value range that hard. It's not that many 2-pair. The jack in it there. And we're not blocking any sets or straight, so we have bad redraw. It's not the right bluff catcher. I think my poker elo would be about 24.50. I think I'd be like an IM slash, I don't know, like, what is a GM in poker? Like, I know a shit ton about this game. The only reason I don't want to say I'd be like 2600, 2700 is that I don't play. Like, I'm not a poker player. So I think it would be a bit arrogant to say, like, that's my elo. But like 24.50 probably right now. If I'm playing reasonably well. It depends. There's a bit of fluctuation as well, right? Like how well you're playing and stuff. Dialing this up slightly with a recreational player here. All right, guys, it's almost time to wrap this one up. Been here for 3.5 hours. Hope you've enjoyed. If you haven't watched it all, go back and watch more. This is a depolarized hand. We're just calling. Feels like a fun session. Feels pretty effortless playing right now. Warrior style is natural for this pool. It's a very good strategy in this pool, actually. The only downside is you do pay some rake, you play some big pots, but it's a very good strategy for this pool for sure. Let's go for... I'm going to just bet because I'm playing open. I'm playing a small bet on flop even as the pre-flop caller. This is not the main line in GTO. The main line in GTO is big. And the midwit, which is the kind of okay poker player that's not very good, will be like, oh, it's not a big bet spot. The fish will be like, I bet small because I only know betting small. And then like the good reg is like, I can play either way here and I know how to build each one and neither one's a problem in theory. And I know what I'm doing exploitatively in the branches that follow. That's how you can tell someone's a really good poker player, because they understand the game tree as this unfolding thing. They make tweaks like this, but they go bigger against the 45 VPIP. They understand the ensuing game tree is going to be better if the pot's bigger. When you have that edge, you're basically magnifying a good thing. You're getting even more of a very good thing, right? Look at these blinds. 3 big blinds. I want to play a bigger pot. My hand is bigger, right? Okay, so Fakir Kafir has a question for me. They don't open enough. You don't 3-bet bluff enough. They do open enough, though. So if your first premise is wrong, everything that's built thereafter is going to be shaky, right? I think they do open enough, and even if they didn't, they could still under 4-bet and overfold the 3-bets anyway. So I don't think that first premise gets off the ground. So I think you should 3-bet more, basically. And then, yes, they don't 4-bet enough, probably, depending on what game stake you play. Let's go all in for 262 big blinds. 8s. Jack 8. Close. Once, please. I want to punish you. I'm going to make him run it once, because I'm the warrior. Okay, let's just get the jack out there and just finish this off. The jack of diamonds. Let's just finish this off once and for all. We've run quite good in these all-ins today, so let's keep going. We've not had many of them, actually. Nice. Oh, we got over the 300? No, we didn't. Don't think we're going to hit our targets. All right, guys. Maybe wrapping this up now. Fun session. Hope you've liked. A couple of missed value bets by me. Otherwise, I think I played very well. I'm glad I played very well for the Easter stream. And this is going to be small overbet. Small overbet. Oh, no, it's not. This guy's no money. This is so stupid. This is wasteful. Go a bit smaller than that. It's not that bad, actually. It is a bit wasteful, and it encourages jam a bit more. Good way to end the stream by just ignoring the fact that someone had a short stack. But yeah. Let's wrap this up. I'll be back in 28 minutes with Sam the Lamb for Cat and Carrot. This week's episode. Second ever episode of Cat and Carrot. And yeah, this has been fun. Warrior is done for the day. Warrior has made, I don't know, I don't have the graph on me, I can't be bothered importing the hands. I think the Warrior made like 300 big blinds today. We got stacked. Did we get stacked twice earlier? And then we've just built from then? Yeah, I think we're maybe up like 300, 3 buy-ins or something, 2.5, 3 buy-ins. So Warriors had a winning day. That's good. We'll see if Weasel has a winning day. This is not a it's not proof that these are good or not. If they have a winning day, the Polar Bear, are they gonna have a winning day? Polar Bear is well creepy. I'm actually glad this mask smells of toxic paint in some ways because it's almost too creepy to wear. Wonder how my son will react if I pick him up from nursery like this. I wonder how the nursery workers will react if I just stand at the door, ring the bell, and just stand there with that mask. I don't think they'll let me in. Not gonna try it. Or just run into the nursery with this mask on. What do you guys think? You can vote. Like, what should I wear when I pick up my son later? What should I wear? Yeah, back tomorrow, spinning the roulette wheel once more. No YouTube, not the actual roulette wheel. We don't approve of gambling. We're an educational channel. But the styles wheel to see what we're going to play. It would be cool if you did a stream teaching some of the chess streamers, if you can bear them. Well, like Levy Rosman, I'd love to stream it. Do you know what? I would be like Levy would like be a poker student of mine. I did approach a few chess streamers once and suggest that, and like none of them really wanted to do it. I think they just thought I was like some weird poker nerd, which is
Definitely not true. I'm a Spartan elite warrior.
right, guys. See you next time. Don't forget, 80 quid off, 200-ish dollars off. Comes with a database review. Everything you need to get started for months. Carrot Poker Skill Grade 1. Carrot Poker Skill Grade 2, 3, E, Weapons of War. Golden Library, Silver Library. Permanent access. Bye for now. Enjoy the Easter sale. See you in 25 minutes for Cat and Carrot.